KMOX News.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. We're partners committed to you, your business, and your community. From family law to litigation, we're ready to serve. Visit SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, hit it.
Chris Ranji, Amy Marks Kors. The Chris and Amy Show.
You know who it is.
Also, if you didn't know, this is called The Show.
Yeah. On 104.1 FM, KMOX.
The only show in St. Louis nominated for an Oscar. It's this one.
I think it was an NBA.
Oh. Just the same.
They're the Oscars of Missouri.
Just the same, if you ask me.
We won Best Opinion. Just one. We don't know which one.
We don't know the opinion.
But
we don't even know who it belongs to. But we know it was the best in the entire state.
We know that those guys at the award committee were listening and thought, "Oh my gosh, did you hear that?
I can't believe I did."
That was a great opinion. That might be the best opinion I've ever heard.
Let's send them a plaque.
And then we got a plaque. Can you believe it? Sometimes I have to stop myself and go, "This is real life."
This is I can't believe it.
I can't believe it either.
You know what?
Look at us.
It makes me so happy. I'm sick to my stomach. Still think about it.
Bubble gut?
Yeah, I got bubble guts. I'm reliving what happened. Was it last year?
I don't know.
314-436-7900. Join our show. Text and call that number. Leave us voice messages on the Odyssey app. We really like to get those. The Odyssey app is the thing you put on your phone for free, where you can listen to KMOX all day, all night, Cardinals baseball when the season starts, and that is coming up here very soon, and the podcasts of the show when the show is over. If you're a visual person, you want to look at us, you can. You can see us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter at Chris Amy KMOX.
Time now for the top of the order. The top 3 stories everyone will be talking about.
Winter Stormageddon is coming to St. Louis.
I am so ready to freak out.
We think. We don't know.
We don't know.
It could be 3 inches. It could be 6. It might be 0. But we do know that Winter Storm Fern is supposed to be affecting us one way or another. We do know it's going to be cold. That we know for sure. But we could be seeing a decent amount of snow in St. Louis over the weekend.
And Senator Eric Schmidt. You remember him.
I do.
Yeah. He wants the NFL back in St. Louis.
He does?
I'm not going to lie.
Well,
I support that.
I support it too. That's one thing he's doing I can get behind. Bring the NFL back to Missouri because the Chiefs are leaving. You remember, in about 5 years. And City SC is engaged in talks with LA, the Galaxy, to send Joao Klaus there. One of the, I would guess, behind Berkey, he's the most
Joao
popular.
Klaus?
Yeah, he's the most popular player, right?
I think so.
Roman Berkey and then him?
And Klaus.
Also,
Berkey
we're gonna
and Klaus.
Yeah, we're going to get the Battlehawk schedule today. And one other sports note.
Single game ticket sales are in a couple of weeks.
Yes.
But I believe season tickets are Friday.
Yeah. And also we should mention Yadier Molina is back in the Cardinals organization.
As a catcher?
No. He is retired. We
brought Lance Lynn back.
He's a special assistant to Chaim Bloom.
Very nice.
How about that?
Well, we want to hear from you today because here's the thing. I am super excited about freaking out about Stormageddon that's coming, the Winter Stormageddon. I love to freak out about a good storm. Who doesn't? Would you even be from St. Louis if you didn't love to freak out? And we would love to hear how you're freaking out. 314-436-7900. You can text or call, but yeah, I think it's fun. It's fun. A little harmless freak out.
Here's where my freak out's going to come. Because I've done this before, and I think I've told you about it.
Yes, you have, and people died. It was
bad.
No,
not that. Oh. No, not that one. Not that one. I'm talking about. Yes, I did downplay a snowstorm about 14 years ago in Chicago, and I'm like, it's fine. It snows all the time.
You downplayed it on the radio. Yeah.
I'm like, it's fine. Everybody's freaking out, and then I was like 6 hours later, just
it was not
2 feet of snow.
Yeah,
Cars were stuck on Lakeshore. People did die. Yeah, so it was pretty bad.
But good old Ranj telling people not to worry about it.
You're fine. That's why you don't listen to a sports station to get weather information. So, no, I had a freak out here a
Okay.
couple of years ago. It was a private freak out. I did it in my own home.
Private freak out.
Because it was supposed to snow. We were supposed to get like a decent amount.
Yeah.
And it wasn't happening.
Yeah.
And I was so mad. I was like, come on, this is BS. They told us we're getting nothing.
You lost it.
I lost it to myself. I love snow. And I know it's a major inconvenience and it can be dangerous.
And we're speaking from a point of people who don't have to go to work on Saturday and we
Right.
have warm homes. I
Right.
get that.
Right.
But let's just assume that the people listening work a Monday through Friday. You know, let's pretend we're all Dolly Parton working 9 to 5. It's a way to make a living, okay?
Yeah.
And you have a house that has some form of heat. Saturday is a good day for it to snow.
I agree with you. I agree. I mean, it does stink for people who have to work, people who make deliveries, and maybe that might get disrupted. People who are essential workers, hospitals and police and fire and so on and so forth. I mean, obviously it's difficult. People have to work on power lines if power goes out, if something happens.
You know what? I think 314-436-7900. If you are a person, an essential worker, and you have to go to work or you have to work outside, do you hate the people like us who are kind of excited about a winter storm?
That's a great question.
Because I feel bad. But here's the thing. You can offend anybody. There was a comedian Ryan Hamilton, and he had a whole skit on hot air balloons and how they were kind of goofy and, the hot air balloons were used during the Civil War, and he's like, that feels like a bad thing. And he had people come up to him mad because they were into hot air ballooning, and he, quote, didn't get it. Do you know what I mean? So I always think about that. Whenever we make people mad, you're going to make people mad no matter what you talk about. Like I said, he offended the hot air ballooning community. So, but we do want to hear from you if you do have to work or you do work on the power lines, or do you like working on the power lines and being out there in the snow because it makes you feel cool? Like, hey, look at all these losers not working. Look at all these bums in their houses warm.
Right.
I'm the one that keeps the country going.
That's right.
I'm the one that is important.
But does this mean that nobody should enjoy it? Aren't some of us allowed to enjoy it as long as we acknowledge the sacrifice that you're making?
If you prick me, do I not bleed?
Yeah, let's
dramatic.
go ahead and acknowledge the people who do have to be out in that crap if it does happen here, that they have a hard job or they can't avoid it. Let's acknowledge that. That's difficult. We're sorry for that. But for the rest of us, can't we have a little fun?
Well, we have a 314 texting in. Super rude. He says, or she says, I hope it snows 2 feet.
Well,
see?
I have to be honest with you.
They're leaning into it.
I kind of agree with her or him. I like that. I'm a big fan of snowstorms.
Okay.
I know some people hate them, are terrified of them. I really like it. We do have a winter storm watch. You should be aware in this listening area from midnight Saturday. So that means late Friday into Saturday. And then around noon on Sunday, it is expected to end. There is a possibility between 3 and 6 inches, depending on where you live. And it could be, like at the very low end of that, or maybe even under. We don't know. And you were saying, Amy, that you spoke to Leah Hill at KMOV.
Yeah, we were hanging out. So I do offside hockey with Chris Kerber, 6 p.m. Wednesdays, Matrix Midwest, which is a sister station of KMOV. So I hang around, and I am on KMOV every Wednesday at 3 p.m. And Leah Hill was on filling in for Laura Hediger that day. She's a meteorologist, so we're sitting on the couch waiting to go live. And as I often do, I ask very selfish, specific questions about storms and vaccines like I did during, with the pandemic. I just had doctor's appointments on the air, basically. And I asked Leah, is it going to snow at all? Is it going to snow Saturday? Everybody knows there's the frostbite race in Forest Park. And she said, well, the storm shifted. It moved north. We weren't expecting to get much snow, maybe an inch. She said there's a good chance that we could get 6 inches of snow depending on where you are. And that's right now. The storm could shift again because, again, we don't really know until the storm makes its way over the Rockies. And right now, again, she said, it's looking like Saturday afternoon, but that has been moving the storm, to more accumulation than thought before and also earlier.
So here's what the National Weather Service is saying right now, that the chance for 5 or more inches of snow has increased along and south of I-70. Lesser amounts are becoming more likely farther north. Snow will overspread the area from southwest to northeast late Friday night through Saturday morning. The storm track remains uncertain, and the forecast likely to continue to change. People are urged to prepare for significant snowfall and stay abreast of the latest forecasts. Stay abreast. Forecasts, watches, and possible warnings. About where we are in the St. Louis area, we are at about or a little over 50% probability of 5 or more inches of snow.
Okay. Now
that's according to the National Weather Service.
And as we know, this is what meteorologists are calling a potentially catastrophic storm. It's 2,000 miles long. It will affect a 2,000-mile stretch with snow and ice. 200 million Americans, across the country will be affected by this storm. The Blues happen to be in Dallas on Friday. They might be getting out of Dodge just in time because they are looking at a lot of ice in the South. And I'm just glad we don't have that.
Up to 2 inches of ice cover.
And that I do not like.
That could be a real problem.
That's awful, and it's so dangerous. And I remember I was telling you about North Carolina when they had 1 inch of ice and people were out of electricity for 2 weeks. It was just a disaster. But yeah, so it is a massive storm system that continues to change. And yeah, we could get significant snowfall there, but yeah.
And this text message, and depending on how you view this, you can look at it one way or another. You can look at this as really nice or very rude. The message says, I hope it snows 4 feet, but only in the Central West End. So,
does he live there?
Does he want the people to have 4 feet of snow because snow is wonderful? Or is he hoping it's bad? I mean, it's perspective there.
Okay.
And why the Central West End?
Yeah. So a delivery driver, he's not happy with us.
Uh-oh.
This 618 says, there is a special place in Siberia for people like you. As a delivery driver, I wholeheartedly support global warming. Shorts and a tank top, 85 every day. First of all, a little rude. Second of all, this guy sounds great for Nice Package.
He could be a Nice Package.
He
but
loves
by the time the company gets started, my delivery company called Nice Package,
where the drivers wear
short shorts.
That's right.
By the time the company starts and he is a team member, if global warming takes hold, he's going to be driving a boat. So you'll be making deliveries in a boat. So
you pick up your packages with a fishing pole. I will also say, I do think we should continue this conversation. We have a texter. It's a woman who has been listening to the show since we started, and she's not sure if she likes Ranji or not.
I remember her.
I think every so often we should get updates on if she's made up her mind.
Yeah. Maybe it toggles. Maybe it's like, you know how
it toggles. Don't talk like that.
When you're watching a debate and they do the really focused, like the hyper-focused focus group, and they have the little dial, and whenever the candidate is talking, they could turn it to the right if they like what they're saying in the moment, or turn it to the left, and you see the meters move. Maybe that's what we'll get with her.
Oh, maybe.
Amy Markscore's Chris Ranji. How about this? You can wear your snow boots this weekend when you're out and about, but in the office, take off your shoes altogether. There are some people who think that should be okay. We'll tell you about them when we come back on KMOX.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline, so I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ETHOS.com/term.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Looking for something smart, soulful, and full of heart? I'm Jen Hatmaker, host of For the Love, the podcast where we talk about what really matters: love and family, faith and purpose. Every week, I'm joined by incredible guests for honest conversations that invite all of us to live with more intention, more laughter, and more connection. Join us on For the Love wherever you get your podcasts.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use this directed.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
Barnes Jewish Hospital and WashU Medicine physicians have long been leaders in heart and vascular care. Now, we're taking the patient experience to another level by opening our new state-of-the-art patient tower, designed specifically with heart patients in mind. By combining the latest technology with thoughtful design and private rooms, heart patients can experience faster healing, reduced stress, and improved outcomes. Learn more at barnesjewish.org/heart.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, haven't practiced in a long time, but I did plaintiff's work and defense work, so I have a pretty good understanding of it. I have a pretty good idea of who's who in the firmament of plaintiffs' attorneys. And for my money, Mark Cantor is the guy. He's a great attorney. He is a great practitioner. He's put together a great team. He was born and raised here. He lives here. He works here. He wins here. Call 314-628-ALL-9s or CantorInjuryLaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based on advertising.
Hi, I'm Wendy Weiss, KMOX alum, and to everyone who's been a part of the KMOX legacy, congratulations on 100 years.
We should let you know that there is a press conference scheduled for 11 o'clock. The city of St. Louis is going to give us a winter weather preparation press conference and tell us what they know and what they are expecting to do to handle whatever comes in. That's at 11 o'clock. We will carry it live.
We're carrying it live. We will have KMOX reporters there. So we just told Sean Malone, KMOX reporter, that we are doing our best to try to rile up the public and fearmonger before the storm.
I love to snowmonger.
Oh, snowmongering. Yeah, just, rile people up. Freak out. Everybody panic. That's kind of what we do. All right. So there is a company. Well, I should say multiple companies. Generally, they're tech startups, and especially in Silicon Valley, but also in New York. And what they're doing is they are encouraging employees to take off their shoes when they get to work.
Okay.
Here's what they hope. They hope that fuzzy socks and slippers on carpeted floors will foster a stress-free workplace.
Okay.
So again, it's focused on startups. Now, you've probably heard of 996 culture, and that's where staffers work 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week. I know this with startups. when I was writing my book, one of my best friends was doing a startup. And so we worked, I was constantly writing. He was constantly working 6-7 days a week. So that's just kind of how it goes when you're trying to really get your company off the ground. I get that. He kept his shoes on, though, while he was working. Ben Lang, though, an employee at a startup called Cursor, wrote in a post on Twitter, "I've only worked at startups that have a no shoes office policy." He runs his website. It's called noshoes.fun. I don't go there. I don't know.
.fun?
Yeah.
It's noshoes.fun.
That's what it says in the story, but I do not recommend
I am going to it immediately. Noshoes.fun.
It lists 20 offices with shoes off policies, including several AI firms like Replo and Composite. So Spur.
So this is a website that you could, if you are so into the idea of working without shoes on, this is a website where you look for a business that has one of these policies that you can apply to it. Like, that's one of your requirements.
That's weird, man.
There's such a thing as I need to work from home. I have to have a work from home job. And now there's I have to be able to take my shoes off.
That's so weird. So
this is great.
There's a company called Spur. It's an AI firm, and the CEO said, well, she goes, I grew up in Singapore, and we took our shoes off in homes and temples. So she offers Spur-branded slides, like slippers, for employees and guests to wear inside the Manhattan office. So everybody comes in, takes off their shoes, and puts on these branded slides. They say they want the work to, quote, make it feel like a second home. And, quote, it disarms you in a positive way. I feel like none of this is true. I don't want to know anybody that I'm working with at this office doesn't have their shoes on.
I love this.
Oh.
I love everything about it, and I hate feet. I hate feet. I hate looking at them. I hate touching them.
But people are going to abuse this and show their toes. They're going to have their piggies out.
So, noshoes.fun, the website. When you go to it, clearly there are only a handful of companies that offer this, and I would expect this to grow. I don't know how much it's going to grow, but I would expect it to grow. You can look for a specific location, the size of the company. If you want a startup, which is up to 50 people, a medium-sized company, 50 to 500, and so on and so forth. You can find something in New York, San Francisco. Remote doesn't make sense because you take your shoes off at home anyway.
Remote.
Or Europe. And then you can specify, Amy, do you want a no-shoes policy, socks-only policy, a slippers-allowed policy, or barefoot-friendly?
Oh, my gosh.
You can specify between all these.
No. Think of all the people we work with without shoes and socks on, and they're just walking around barefoot. It kind of makes you want to throw up.
I don't even like them with their shoes on.
Because you know that these old men have corn chip toes.
Oh.
And
What the hell does that mean? What are corn chip toes?
Like they look like bugles, the toenails.
Oh.
You sounded exactly
That
like
is disgusting.
Frank Costanza. What the hell does that mean? You want a piece of me?
What?
Yeah.
Corn chip toes?
It's really gross.
Why would you say that?
Because I worked at a shoe store and I had to take people's shoes and socks off for
Do you
5
remember-
years. I had to touch feet with corn chip toes.
When you worked at that store, when you worked at the shoe store, can you remember in your mind
I'll never forget.
the worst pair of feet that you ever saw?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I can picture. I did not have the worst. I don't even know if I can say it on air.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You don't
So-
don't give the person's name.
My manager,
Mhm.
I have a good friend. I see her all the time now. She's still a really good friend of mine. A guy took off his shoe and he had like gangrene.
Oh,
and
no.
one of his toes and his like pinky toe was falling off. And she told him to go to the hospital.
Oh, he didn't know it?
I think obviously something was wrong and maybe there was a condition, but he like knew that it was black. The toe was turning black, but I feel like throwing up. I need to stop this conversation. At any rate, this is why I've been traumatized. I would sit on
Imagine
the floor.
that guy comes to your office with no socks.
No, I would sit on the floor. Wow, I feel dizzy. I feel so sick. I apologize to all of our listeners. I would sit on the floor and I would take, shoes and socks off for people. Boys would come in from cross-country practice and you would have shoe inserts, right? Like arch supports. they would come in from practice, soccer practice, football practice, in their cleats, wearing them, and I'd have to stick my hand in the stinky, sweaty, wet shoe and switch out the insert. How rude is that?
Oh, that's disgusting.
I actually don't know. How did I do that? I did this for 5 years.
I can't believe you did. Of all people, you.
I kind of feel sick.
I can't believe you did that. Do people, so before we hit the break here, I didn't know that they still had shoe stores where they help put the shoe on you.
So I will tell you.
Do they still do that?
Yeah. So it's actually.
That was a big thing when I was a kid.
Yeah, it was Fleet Feet. So it was running shoes. So we would assess the foot and like measure the arch. Look and see if you're pronating, underpronating, overpronating, all, how are your arches. So we had to look at the foot, and we even had like little like Palm Pilots basically where we would type in the different information and it would calibrate it with the best shoes and the best inserts. But
that makes sense.
We had to touch their feet, adjust their feet. And but because it was, like you're buying these nice running shoes, and even though it was a running store, we got nurses, military, anybody who's on their feet, older people, and they would sit on a bench and I would sit down on the floor, and we'd take off their shoes and socks and replace it with new shoes and socks, and the whole process. And there were some people who maybe needed that help, or just liked that help. And so it wasn't just runners who would come in.
Well, I will tell you this. I don't think, I cannot remember the last time I actually went to a shoe store and tried on a pair and left, because I'm most of the time just like I size 11. Just give me an 11.
No, we would fit them for shoes, and then we send them outside, and they would go run on the sidewalk or in the parking lot and come back in. And yeah,
that makes sense. But if you want to work somewhere, it doesn't look like there are any St. Louis companies that are on this list yet. But if you're interested as a St. Louis company, you should get yourself on this list. NoShoes.fun.
It sounds kinkier than it probably is.
But don't be one of the barefoot-friendly companies.
No,
that's
don't.
Gross.
That's gross.
Socks is fine.
Ever heard of athlete's foot?
Disgusting. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX, and Senator Eric Schmidt has a good idea. He wants to bring the NFL back to St. Louis. Is this real? Can it happen? We'll explore it when we come back on KMOX.
For 100 years, you've welcomed KMOX into your cars, your kitchens, and your daily routines.
You've trusted us through breaking news, championship celebrations, and the stories that shaped our city.
You've listened during moments of joy and leaned on us when times were uncertain.
From overnight shifts to early mornings, from one generation to the next, you've made KMOX part of your life.
From everyone at KMOX, thank you, St. Louis, for 100 unforgettable years.
KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-284-1238. 800-284-1238. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-284-1238.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
It's 30 now, so enjoy it. Times of clouds and sun, a high today of 40. Tonight it will be frigid with increasing clouds and breezy. The low is 10.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Turning 50 doesn't mean slowing down. It means getting smarter about your health. That's why we created Neovitin Men's 50 Plus Multivitamin. It's doctor formulated to support your energy, immune health, and overall vitality. Plus, it's made in the U.S. using the finest domestic and international ingredients. Take control of your health with supplements you can trust. Look for Neovitin Men's 50 Plus at your local Schnucks, Dierbergs, or online at neovitin.com. Neovitin, made for men who keep moving forward.
Thank you, St. Louis, for making Genesis of St. Charles your most trusted and #1 Genesis dealer in Missouri for 2026. We know your time is valuable. That's why every purchase comes with 3 years of complimentary Genesis Service Valet. Unlock your e-price and save. That means complimentary vehicle pickup and delivery, plus a loaner vehicle at no additional cost. Or want something new? We'll bring the test drive to you. Visit genesisofstcharles.com today. Based on GMA sales records for 2025. See dealer for details.
Hey, Cardinal Cowboy here. Who would have thought a car crash would have led to charities, TV shows, and cheering with the best fans in the world? I'm thankful for every day. And so are my friends at Renner Garage Door. They've been turning garage doors from zero to hero since 1966. With help from trusted brands like Delden, Amar, and LiftMaster, honest family-style service you can count on. So giddy up and get your free repair or replacement quote today. Giddy up!
RENNER, RENNER.
This is the Gas House Gang from KMOX.
Bernie Nicholas and the Gas House Gang, today at noon on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
(314-436-7900). Text messages welcome. This one says, to me, it is addressed to me. Just go into your local Planet Fitness, Chris, and you will find many applicants for short shorts for small packages.
No,
okay,
no, that's
it's not small package. It's nice package. It's different.
That's right.
That's my delivery service where all the drivers wear short shorts.
Here's a 314. I'm a delivery driver, too. Where do I get an application for Mr. Raunchy's package delivery company? Asking for a friend. Now, he spells it Mr. Raunchy, which kind of works with nice package. Or do you think that was a misspelling of Raunchy? I don't really know.
You know what?
Because you could be called Mr. Raunchy. You're a little raunchy.
You know how it's wasn't it? Gosh, when there's a name of a company, but it's like so and so's, like Bram Stoker's Dracula, right?
Yeah.
It could be Mr. Raunchy's nice package. Maybe that should be the name of the company. Should we do that?
Yes.
All right, I'm in.
Yeah. Because when I hosted my very first hockey show on KMOX with Alex Ferrario, it was Wendy's Week in Hockey, and everybody asked me if I was Wendy. They thought it was Wendy and Alex. No, Wendy, the fast food lady. She was the sponsor.
I think that makes perfect sense. So as you know, this month marks 20 years, or excuse me, 20, it's 10 years. It's been a decade since the St. Louis Rams have been a thing. They voted, I believe it was last week, 10 years ago, that the official vote happened to move the team from St. Louis to California, where they are now. And the L.A. Rams, by the way, are playing in the conference championship game on Sunday, which stings twice for me. Once because they beat the Bears, and twice because every time the Rams are in a conference championship or, you know, in a Super Bowl, on the verge of a Super Bowl, or winning one, I think it stings for the city of St. Louis a little bit, because they could have been still doing that here if Stan Kroenke wanted to. He decided not to, but I digress. Eric Schmidt, is senator here in the state of Missouri, was asked just this week about public funding for a St. Louis football team again. As we know, the Kansas City Chiefs are planning to leave Missouri in 2031 to go across state lines over into Kansas and base their operations there. It's not the biggest deal in the world as far as Chiefs fans go, because their team is still in the area.
Well, the best way I describe it is they are leaving the state, not the city. There's a difference. It's the same thing. The New York Jets and the New York Giants play in New Jersey.
Right.
And
so
nobody feels like they left New York.
It's right. It's a whole lot different than your team picking up and moving 1,000 miles away, that it's not convenient to go to them.
This just feels rude.
Right. It does. But he would like to have his team back in the state. And I agree with that, though I don't think he's very keen, according to the interview with KMOV, that he is really interested in having public dollars go to build a new stadium. But he does like the idea of bringing a team here again at some point, and at one point being a Rams season ticket holder, which he talks about. And of course, he misses the idea of that, as many St. Louisans do. We talk about tailgating and all the relationships and friendships and traditions that were built while the Rams were here for football Sundays, and all of that is gone. There's a culture that's now gone as a result of the team leaving. So I think he wants that to come back, and a lot of moving parts would have to happen. I don't think a senator alone can make this happen. Could probably help grease the wheels a little bit. I don't think it just him alone saying we're going to bring a team back to St. Louis, or we want to bring a team to St. Louis, is not going to make it happen. But I love the idea that someday the NFL will be back here.
I would take it. And I know people say, well, you've been spurned by the NFL twice now. Why would you want the NFL back? Because it's the NFL. And I don't have a lot of pride. I don't have an ego. I would take an NFL team. I just feel like it's highly unlikely that the NFL would show up to St. Louis for the third time. That seems very unlikely to me, except the only reason why the NFL would consider coming back to St. Louis is because more than anything in the whole wide world, the NFL loves money. And if they could figure out some way that, you know what, or they could be convinced that some way going back to St. Louis would be an absolute financial boon for them in a way that it wouldn't in other cities. Don't know if that's true, but if they could be convinced of that, then maybe they come back.
My gut feeling on it at this point in time is if they were going to expand, I think they would go to an international market before they would come back here.
I could see that. Yeah, they'd go to London,
Robert
Germany.
Kraft, yes, and which would be a really difficult travel schedule for a lot of teams. I mean, imagine in
San
LA,
Francisco?
Yes, imagine the 49ers having to play a London game, on the regular season schedule. And if you listen to Robert Kraft, who is the owner of the New England Patriots, who spoke on Boston Sports Radio earlier in the week, and he said that they are very likely going to go to an 18-game schedule, and he was talking about there being an international game for every team every year. So they're already looking at that idea. And they've played in Brazil, they've played in London, they've played in Germany. They're going to keep expanding that.
I have a stupid question, so I apologize in advance because we keep talking about a stadium. Is the dome unsalvageable?
It would not be there. If the Rams if a football team came back to St. Louis, an NFL team, they would not play in the dome.
Why though? Sorry, I know this is dumb, but why would they not? Why would the city not say, what if we totally renovated it?
Because you're going to get, first of all, the NFL. The only thing that would entice the NFL to come back, or the first thing, would be we're going to have this brand new, beautiful stadium somewhere, whether it's on the riverfront or maybe a little bit farther out west. I don't know that they want to go too far away from downtown, but it would be an option. They would want a new stadium first. So that means no dome. That means no, I almost called it the Trans World Dome. That's what it used to be called originally.
Yeah.
But it would not be there. They would have a brand new, if you remember, Amy, and I know everybody, I think, famously remembers that there was a plan to build a stadium on the riverfront that the city had put together. But it wasn't the stadium deal that Stan Kroenke was looking for. He was looking for a multi-billion-dollar stadium, which is what he ended up getting in L.A.
So in the KMOV story, David Amilotti was talking with Senator Schmidt, but he also spoke with St. Charles County Executive Steve Ellman. Now, I feel I don't want this to happen. Now, Steve Ellman said, the demographic center of this region, the Missouri part of the region, like where the most people are located, is at 141 and 40, like right there, that 40 corridor. And he said, quote, that's where meaning the new stadium, would need to be. He feels like it needs to be in St. Louis County. It needs to be further west. He was asked, what about St. Charles County? And he said, no, St. Charles County couldn't afford it financially to put the stadium there. He just said demographically, with most people being in the suburbs of St. Louis, where all the population is, that's where the dome or the stadium would need to be. Now, again, you can persuade me, Ranj, because this is my gut reaction. My gut reaction is so sad if it's not in the city. I feel like it has to be in the city. It's St. Louis. You have to have the arch and the football stadium in the same frame when you take a picture.
I agree with you. I do not agree with the county executive on that because it's
St. Louis.
It would end up being, 9 games a year? So it'd be 9 dates a year. People are going to come from West County and St. Charles to a football game in the city. They're just
I know tons of people in Chesterfield who are going to the Battlehawks games.
Yes.
If they're going to Battlehawks
they're
games,
going to come to an NFL.
They're going to an NFL game.
That's right. And so there is land that can be used and renovated downtown St. Louis. We have a lot of dead space here. So to me, I think it would have to be in the city. This is not. Now, I get where he's coming from, that the proximity out there would be a shorter commute for people who wanted to go to it. But you have to remember, we're not talking about a game a night for 6 months. We're not talking about 81 games at home. We're talking about 9 or 10.
And I love this city. And we were talking about how I feel cool working downtown. Which I know people listening to that could be like, well, I disagree. And that's fine. But I love the arch. I pulled off Market Street this morning driving to work, parked my car, and took a picture of the arch this morning. I work here every day. I've been coming down here once or twice a day for the past, 8 years. But it's so pretty. It's so St. Louis. It still makes me smile. I still feel that civic pride. And I feel like if it's the St. Louis Cardinals in Busch Stadium, it needs to be downtown. If you have a football team, it needs to be that riverfront arch, that panning of the St. Louis skyline. That's where the football team is, because that's what people think of when they think of St. Louis.
Yeah.
And I know that they were talking for a while about the soccer stadium and saying, what about 141 and 44 where the old car factory used to be, the manufacturing plant?
Was it Ford?
No, I think it was it Chevy?
Okay, I don't
remember. Yeah, okay. What about putting it out there? And I'm so glad they didn't, because as a region, we should be bullish for our city and support our city and say, yes, we want to cool downtown. And we've talked so much about what an NFL team does for a downtown that, to me, some of the benefits of an NFL team, if you put it out in the county, well, of course, it's still going to help the region, but it's not the same as if you put it in the city. You got to put it in the city.
So when MLS was considering St. Louis for expansion a few years ago, that was one of the deals. It was, we want a stadium in the city limits.
How beautiful it is. Yeah.
They didn't want a suburban stadium, so it had to be downtown, and that's where they ended up putting it. And we have a fantastic Energizer Park is a really nice building.
And
it's a really
beautiful.
nice stadium. Now, NFL clearly has already proven they don't care about that. They don't care if it is downtown. They don't care if it's in the most distant suburb. They don't care if it moves across state lines.
Right.
And, Gary, Indiana claiming the Bears, right? They don't care about that. What they care about is the stadium is nice, it's huge, it has appropriate amount of seating, and it makes the league a ton of money. And I'm like you, if an NFL team came to St. Louis again and it wasn't downtown, that would make me sad. But obviously, I would take the Chesterfield Rams over nothing. Obviously, I would. If the caveat was you're going to get an NFL team, but it's not going to be in St. Louis proper, it will be in one of the suburbs. Of course, we would all take that.
314. I had a total brain fart. The Chrysler plant. That's what I was thinking of. And yes, to your point, we would all take it over nothing. So let me ask you this, Ranj. I know we're running out of time. Am I being a total hypocrite by saying, oh, it's not a big deal that the Chiefs are moving across state lines because they're still close, but then here I am, sad.
No.
If the stadium isn't downtown?
No, because with the Chiefs, you're weighing it could be that they picked up and moved completely out of the area.
And they weren't downtown anyway.
Right. You're just at least happy they didn't do that.
Yes. And Arrowhead and Kauffman Stadium are in the middle of nowhere, it feels like. Like they're not, it's not like they plucked Arrowhead out of the middle of downtown Kansas City. Just like if the Rams had already been in Fenton, it doesn't matter if they're in Chesterfield now.
Yeah. This text message says, Amy, you're a great cheerleader, but may St. Louis rest in peace. And to me, I hate that attitude. I hate that attitude. It just sounds like somebody who's like, well, St. Louis is dead. Screw him. Let's not even worry about him anymore.
If St. Louis dies, Chesterfield dies.
You damn right it does. And so does St. Charles.
Yep.
The only thing that makes this an actual region on the national stage is St. Louis. If St. Louis dies, everybody else is screwed too. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
John Pertzborn here, and I've come to respect the good works of Hardy's Rise and Shine for Heat benefit, supporting heatupstlouis.org, where 100% of the proceeds help families and seniors with Missouri and Illinois utilities. It's Friday, February 13th, your lucky day. Volunteer now or pre-order sacks of sausage or egg biscuits only at heatupstlouis.org. Put the biscuits down, gentry.
When it comes to planning your retirement, there's a lot to think about. Portfolio management, tax planning, and retirement income just to get started. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group focus on those things and more. Their goal is to help you achieve your goals. Call 636-230-8824 or online, yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IBW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
St. Louis, are you ready to go Hardy?
I woke up on the wrong side of the truck bed.
The country rock hitmaker behind Truck Bed. Wait in the truck and one beer. He's bringing his No Holds Barred live show to Hollywood Casino Amphitheater June 5th. With special guests Cameron Whitcomb and McCoy Moore. Hardy, live, loud, and unapologetic. One night only. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. For more information, KMOX.com/events.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial # law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Corey from Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. There's never a good time for your heating system to stop working. If yours does, no matter what time or day, Air Comfort Service offers 24/7 emergency HVAC service. Contact our award-winning team for 5-star heating service and stay in your comfort zone. For heating and 24/7 emergency service, contact Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation at aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
When life happens and you need to sell your St. Louis area home, call trusted realtor Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria is St. Louis's real estate expert with more than 22 years of experience and expertise, helping you sell quickly and for the most money.
Selling your home can be so stressful, especially when life happens, like a sudden job change, a passing of a loved one, or a growing family. Knowing exactly how much your home will sell in today's market is the first step. Then I back it up with an upfront written guarantee. My guarantee is simple and easy to understand. If I can't sell your home at our agreed upon price and time frame, I'll buy it myself.
When life happens, the name to remember is Gloria Liu, Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. I strongly suggest you call her right now at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX and the free Odyssey app. Now, did you see this? With Chris and Amy.
Well, Ranj, did you see that cows might be smarter than we thought? A cow was caught using a tool in a very sophisticated way. So a pet cow.
Table saw?
Yes. Yes, a table saw and a Phillips screwdriver.
Interesting.
Unbelievable.
What was it building?
Its own pail for milk. No. The cow used a stick to scratch its back.
Really?
Yeah. Here, I'm going to show you the video.
Wait, where's this cow?
I don't know.
Oh, so it's a cow in a pasture, and it has picked up a stick. It's laying down.
You can see it on the
its
YouTube.
stomach,
Mm-hmm.
and it has picked up a stick, like
Yeah.
a broomstick, it looks like, and it is turned. It's got it in its mouth, and it's turned around. It's like you would use your hand with a back scratcher,
That's exactly right.
but it's using its mouth instead.
Yeah, and it says that we continue to find that we have been underestimating the minds of farm animals.
Well, I am debating telling you about this because I know you haven't seen it, or I'm guessing you haven't seen it, but there are...
Is it gross?
It's gross.
Ranj, no, come
You
on.
wanna hear it?
I don't know. How bad is it?
So there are flesh-eating flies eating their way through Mexico, and the CDC is warning people about it, working their way up toward Texas. It's called it's a parasitic fly.
I don't like this.
Hold on. It is called the New World screwworm.
Ew.
It lays eggs, and it lays eggs on skin, and then you know what happens with fly larvae? Yeah, and then those things that hatch out of the larva, they eat your flesh.
You know what I
so
just
you're
said?
supposed to remove all of them and kill them, but they're moving up toward
No.
Texas, and people are concerned about it.
You know what I just said?
Yeah.
That was a good conversation. This was good radio. Good job, everyone. I can see why we won an award. And now you've just driven away all of our listeners.
Now they're still here
No, I
because they
don't
want to
think
know what
so.
to do about the New World screwworm. So be mindful of the New World screwworm. Now, here's one I think you're going to like.
Okay.
Have you seen that on Reddit, there is a subreddit thread called Babies Trapped in Knees?
What?
Yeah. So I just...
Somehow I missed that one.
Okay, this is I found out about it via Twitter. Now, here's what I want you to imagine. There are certain people that when they stand up straight, if you look at their knees, you can see a baby's face, and it kind of looks like Han Solo in Carbonite.
Oh,
like it's...
Because of the
like,
skin,
it looks like
you
a baby.
mean?
Yes, the
like
skin.
Like the skin on their knees?
Yes, where the kneecap is. It kind of folds, and you could see eye sockets and see a nose and a mouth.
Yeah.
Okay. It's awesome. Okay, can you... All right,
I think I probably have knees like that. Oh
So,
my gosh,
I
I
want
see
you to-
it now. Oh my gosh.
I just showed Amy if you're watching on if you're watching on YouTube,
It
Facebook,
looks like
or
a
Twitter.
baby's face in the knee, like Han Solo and Carbonite.
Yes. Yeah.
You have hibernation sickness.
That's awesome.
No, it's not. It's
Babies
upsetting.
trapped in knees.
Both of those were upsetting.
I need you to go find it. If you didn't,
I bet I have that. Some people have really tight knees.
I haven't looked at my knees.
I don't have tight knees.
I don't think I have those little dim, but there's two eye sockets and a mouth and a nose. Oh man, I love Reddit. There's some real vile stuff
looking at
on
my
it.
knees
You have to
now.
stand up in order to see it.
I know. I think you guys can't look. This
Okay.
feels violating.
Hey, don't forget that we are going to air the press conference in about an hour. We are expecting 11 o'clock, the city of St. Louis, to begin the press conference about the winter storm preparation, how much we're expected to get this weekend here in the St. Louis area. It looks like it might be more than we first thought.
Everybody panic. Let's
Everybody
go.
panic.
Let's panic, baby.
Or we could probably get nothing. So who knows? But it is expected to start late Friday night into Saturday, and the winter storm watch will go from then until noon on Sunday. But we do have the press conference. We will bring that to you, scheduled for 11 o'clock. But when we come back, we're going to talk a little sports with Matt Pauley. A lot to get into with him. Yadier Molina is back in the Cardinals organization. We'll visit with Matt Pauley next on the Chris and Amy Show, 104.1 FM KMOX.
At Graybar, we know your time is money. That's why our services go beyond parts and products. With kitting, pre-assembly, wire carts, and Graybar smart reels that keep you moving. We stage materials and manage logistics so you can spend less time sorting and more time installing. And with locations nationwide, we deliver when and where you need it, working to make your job easier every step of the way. Yep, Graybar does that.
What if every time you spent money, you saved money too? With Achieve It Checking from Together Credit Union, you can do just that. Every debit card purchase is rounded up to the nearest dollar, and the spare change goes right into your savings. And here's the best part. Together Credit Union boosts your progress by matching qualifying savings up to $8 a month. It's a free checking account that helps you achieve more automatically. Learn more, or better yet, enroll today at togethercu.org. Together Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
Attention all dog owners. If you have ever listened to the radio or TV for any length of time, you've probably heard of America's #1 dog supplement, Rough Greens. Greetings, naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black, Amazon best-selling author and founder of Rough Greens here. And if your dog suffers from bad breath, itchy skin, licking paws, joint pain, or low energy, the truth is their food is probably to blame. You see, all commercial dog food is dead food. That's why I created Rough Greens. One daily scoop gives your pup the live vitamins, omega oils, probiotics, and enzymes that will bring their food back to life. Don't believe me? Let your dog try it before you buy it. I'll send you a free Jumpstart trial bag, risk-free. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Use discount code NEWS. Don't wait. Give your dog the gift of vibrant health. Order now. It'll be at your house in a few days. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Discount code NEWS for your free Jumpstart trial bag today. Rough Green. We make any dog food better.
Dreaming of summer with this crazy weather? Me too. And nothing says summer like the Muni, which means it's officially time to start planning your nights under the stars. Good news, Muni season tickets are on sale now. The 2026 season includes Hairspray, Shrek the Musical, South Pacific, Disney's Newsies, Ain't Too Proud, The Life and Times of the Temptations, Meet Me in St. Louis, and Something Rotten. See all 7 shows starting at only $126. For tickets, visit muni.org.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood, the voice of St. Louis.
Fairwinds River's Edge is more than a place to live. It's a place to belong. Come see why we have been voted Best Independent Senior Living Community for 4 years in a row by U.S. News and World Report. We think you'll like it here, and the experts agree. Come see us for yourself. Call to schedule a tour and complimentary lunch, or to learn more about our upcoming app university that can help enhance your everyday life. Find us online at fairwindsriversedge.com.
It is 10 o'clock, and right now we've got some sunshine through the clouds. It's 30 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey. Weather is the big story today, and we get the latest from AccuWeather's Joe Lundberg from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
Arctic air is poised to blast into the area over the next 24 hours. Behind a cold front, temperatures by tomorrow morning will be dropping below 10 degrees and stay in the low to mid-teens throughout the day tomorrow. That sets the stage for a storm to come out of the southern Rockies through Texas and work its way eastward. And as it does, it will bring us some snow. That snow could break out late tomorrow night, but most of it will come during the day on Saturday and through Saturday night before ending Sunday morning. We're expecting 3 to 6 inches of snow and obviously very slow and treacherous travel, particularly Saturday night and into the day on Sunday. Even though the storm will be moving away, it looks like the travel impacts will linger. And behind the storm system, it stays bitterly cold. Even with sunshine returning on Monday, we're likely to stay in the teens.
St. Louis Mayor Kara Spencer is holding a news conference about winter preparations at 11. We'll bring that to you live. A woman who led an anti-immigration enforcement protest against a pastor at a Minnesota church has been arrested. Attorney General Pam Bondi announcing the arrest of Nikema Levy Armstrong, but it's not clear what charges the woman would face. Protesters took issue with the pastor for also being an ICE official. Armstrong, a civil rights attorney, said when officials protect armed agents, repeatedly refuse meaningful investigation into killings like Renee Goods, and signal they may pursue peaceful protesters and journalists, that is not justice, it is intimidation. Meanwhile, ICE officials are claiming that Minnesota officials are setting free suspects they're taking into custody. CBS's Nicole Skenga is in St. Paul.
Minnesota Corrections Commissioner Paul Schnell says that's already common practice.
As they approach their release date several weeks before, our staff coordinates directly with the local ICE office. Staff do this on a routine basis. They make arrangements for the transfer of custody of that individual.
As Missouri lawmakers consider a request from Governor Kehoe to phase out the state's income tax, a local tax law expert has some thoughts. Sarah Narkowitz with the low-income taxpayer clinic at Washington University says the move to a more sales and service-based taxation carries with it a psychological impact.
When I'm looking at income tax, I'm looking at that big chunk I have to pay at the end of the year, or I'm looking at my paycheck and seeing it come out steadily. Whereas when I'm looking at sales tax, I'm like, oh, I'm buying something, it's not that big a deal. But if you count up all the cumulative effects of all the things you buy over the year, it may actually be more than the income tax you're paying.
Narkowitz says a shift away from state income taxes generally benefits higher income earners and costs lower ones more of a percentage of their income. Republican lawmakers are poised to grill former Justice Department Special Counsel Jack Smith at an open hearing, focusing fresh attention on 2 criminal investigations that shadowed the Donald Trump presidential campaign. Smith testified behind closed doors last month. He is standing by his decision as special counsel to bring charges accusing Trump of conspiring to overturn the 2020 presidential election and hoarding classified documents at his Mar-a-Lago estate. From the business desk sponsored by Krenz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com, the government released data from the Federal Reserve's preferred inflation gauge this morning. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger says inflation remains higher than the Fed's target rate.
Most believe the Fed will not do anything, take no action at that meeting. And of course, that's likely to rile up the president. But the Fed is more likely to say that they think that right now the economy is balanced in terms of risk, that they see the labor market holding up, but inflation remaining higher than they would like. So the most likely outcome for next week's Fed meeting is no action.
Revised GDP numbers show strong growth in the U.S. economy in the third quarter. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
The Chris and Amy Show is video streaming now on KMOX's YouTube, X, and Facebook pages. Click and subscribe.
Well, here in just the last few moments, we got a little bit of news. And don't it's not any Cardinal stuff or Blues stuff or anything like that. So don't.
Is it Stormageddon?
It is not Stormageddon. It is actually sports related. As we mentioned earlier today, we are getting the St. Louis Battlehawks schedule released, and it happened about 3 minutes ago. And the Battlehawks will be opening their season at the Dome at America Center Saturday, March 28th. It's an 11 a.m. game.
Oh.
They'll be hosting the D.C. Defenders. We bring in Matt Pauley now. So there it is, Battlehawks season. Ricky Prohl, former Ram, is the new head coach of the Battlehawks. They're going to get their season started March 28th, 11 a.m. at the Dome. What do you think, Matt Pauley? Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm looking at I'm looking at the schedule now as we speak, or at least I'm trying to bring it up. Good that the schedule's out. Hopefully they have another year with great support here in St. Louis. The St. Louis crowds, we all know, are so much better than all the other crowds throughout that league, and it's so important. Now, last year they got an extra home game. Do they get an extra home game this year, or is it just the 1, 2, 3, 4?
Do you remember?
5,
yeah, I think
6.
Yeah, no, they do not get the extra home game this year. So
I know
5 home games.
I know Matt Pauley knows Mike Francesa.
Yeah, I know this.
It's a very well-known New York sports radio, like one of the first sports radio people in the whole country. He was with Mad Dog Russo, who's on MLB Network. They hosted Mike and Mad Dog, really big show back in the day. And when Francesa is hosting by himself, I don't know how many years ago, and he was counting the bowl games. Because the college football bowl games, he was so upset with how many bowl games there are.
Yeah.
And he's on the air just going 1, 2, 3, 4. And he gets up to like 27, 28, 29, 30. He's just counting on the air. It's really great stuff. Oh, man.
I only went to 5 this time, so hey, not quite that, yes.
I know you guys have baseball stuff to get to, but I did want to note, because Matt and I talked yesterday on Sports Open Line, and Ron, I don't know that you know this, but I did offside hockey with Chris Kerber, and we were talking about Oscar Sundqvist. And remember, he was in a collision with Connor McDavid at the Edmonton Oilers game a couple of days ago, and it looked really, really bad. And it was okay, but he was cut by a skate on his upper ankle, and it didn't cut through the muscle. It didn't cut the Achilles tendon. But Kerber was talking to Oscar Sundquist about it, and Oscar Sundquist wears cut-resistant socks. And he said there's different levels of cut-resistant socks. He said the more cut-resistant they are, the more uncomfortable they are, because it's basically like wearing Kevlar. But he said Oscar swears that the only reason that wasn't way worse is because he was wearing those cut-resistant socks. And if he hadn't been wearing those, it could have been really, really ugly. I didn't know about that. I didn't know about cut-resistant socks for hockey players. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, I know they do the throat thing, right? They have
Well, they have a throat protector, but that's actually, I had one of those because we had to wear them when I played in this women's hockey thing, but it's like plastic.
So
these are socks.
Yeah, it's interesting. So, Matt, we were just talking. Was it the last segment? Yeah, it was. A couple segments ago about the NFL potentially coming to St. Louis, and Senator Eric Schmidt in an interview saying he would like it to happen. He'd like to take some of that Rams settlement money, invest it, and then hopefully use that if they invest it well to build a stadium and attract the NFL back to St. Louis. I know this is a conversation that has happened a million times. I do think it's noteworthy, though, when a U.S. senator says they want there to be a team coming back, and with the knowledge that the last NFL team in the state is leaving in a few years.
Yeah, I don't think he yields that much power when it comes to getting the NFL to put an expansion franchise or in St. Louis or move a team here. And there's no teams right now that are going to move. Like Cincinnati's not moving. Jacksonville is they're going to have their new stadium set up in 2028, I believe. They'll play with a reduced capacity this upcoming season. Then I think they have to play in Orlando for 1 year, and then but they're in the middle of doing all that. So, I mean, I want the NFL back in St. Louis. I would love for it to happen, but I don't know how it happens, and even a sitting U.S. senator, I appreciate what he's saying. I don't know if those comments are going to rattle the National Football League and the other NFL owners enough to get a team in St. Louis. And I have a hard time believing that as long as Roger Goodell is the commissioner of the NFL, after that settlement that St. Louis and the NFL don't exactly get along, I have a hard time believing that after the NFL had to pay St. Louis so much money that just a few years later they would find a way to get a team back in St. Louis. But I hope I'm wrong. Let's go NFL in St. Louis.
Let's move on now to the Cardinals, who are still in the midst of their offseason. And I want to get to an actual offseason item in a moment. But as it pertains to the Cardinals, we heard yesterday Yadier Molina is returning to the organization. And everybody, is thinking about him being a coach or a manager someday. But he is returning as a special assistant to the president of baseball operations, Chaim Bloom. I mean, I don't know how influential that position really is. There are a lot of former players around baseball who get a job like that, former coaches, that sort of thing. Does it carry a whole lot of weight, Matt?
It's good to get really smart people in organizations, and I think when you have somebody like Chaim Bloom, who's your president of baseball operations, who seems to really embrace the idea of as many voices as possible, as many smart people being challenged, collaborating with others, I think there's a chance for this to have an impact on the team. But I also think people have gone a little bit overboard on how impactful it will be. If the Cardinals play way above their skis this year and end up being an above 500 club and end up sneaking into the postseason or something crazy like that, ending up happening, does Yadi help the organization? Yes. But is it because Yadi came into the organization? No. So it's nice. Again, it's a really smart baseball dude coming into the organization to help out and to lend another set of eyes. I don't want to put too much definition on it. And I'm not trying to dismisses. I think it's a really, really good thing for Yadi. I think it's a really, really good thing for the team. I just don't think it's this franchise-altering kind of move.
Just a quick question on that, though. If this is a transition period for the Cardinals where they are leaning into youth, isn't it better to have great championship knowledgeable leadership like Yadi? Like maybe he does have a bigger impact this year than he would on other years just because there are so many young guys in the clubhouse?
Yeah, I think the staff has that, though. Yachty just got done playing a few years ago. Well, John Jay wasn't playing all that long ago, and Daniel Descalso wasn't playing all that long ago. So I think it's an important thing to have on the staff, guys who have played recently. So, yeah, there's value in that. The catchers, I mean, this is they did not in the press release explicitly say that Yadier Molina would be in spring training. I am most hopeful that happens because that's where I think the impact can be really felt. You can get every single catcher in the organization, and they can all be there with Yachty. I would assume he's going to be going into the minor league sites throughout the year. I'd assume he's going to do what he did a little bit last year, where he'll spend some time with the big league club. He's going to be able to give another set of eyes. But, yeah, I think, Amy, you're right, that there is there is value to when guys are young and impressionable, well, then have more people that can impress them in a positive way.
Okay, sorry. Just on the leadership issue, and this is for both of you, just because I'm looking at what we see with the Blues right now. They're talking about young guys and the core and where's the team, and they lost a lot of veteran leadership and so forth and so on. So we're always having that conversation. Bringing in Yachty is great. How much does it matter if the leadership is on the roster versus the leadership being a John Jay or a Yachty hanging out?
I mean, there has to be player leadership. And Bernie actually wrote a really good column about this over at STL Sports Central, because if Brendan Donovan gets traded, all of a sudden you're looking at a roster that is incredibly young, and there's a lot of worry about where is the leadership going to come from. I think it's going to come organically. I think there's dudes on the team that are going to step into leadership-type roles. Someone like Mason Wynn is probably the first person to do that. So I would contend that leadership internally, if we're talking about players being the internal and anything else being external, I would contend that internal leadership is always more important than external leadership.
So the Milwaukee Brewers did something yesterday. They have agreed to trade Freddie Peralta to the New York Mets. What are they doing? What is it with the Brewers? Because they just won the division, and now you're getting rid of one of your good starters. It's the kind of what are they thinking? What's happening there with the Brewers?
Yeah, it's what they do. They don't want players to walk out the door without them getting something for them. And Freddie's going into his final year on his current contract. They know that they can't afford him. They are 100% know that. So the question is, do you play out the year with him and then he walks away and you get nothing more than a draft pick? Or do you trade him and you set him up to a contract where you were able to, $8 million a year, you're going to get some really good pieces for him, as they did from the Mets. And they did this with Devin Williams. They do it all the time. It's they just can't sign guys to long-term deals. So it's the way that they sustain their model is you get to a point and you make a really uncomfortable decision, and it hurts at the moment, but long term you're in a much better position. And they're going to keep doing that over and over and over. That's always going to be their model. I really like Freddie Peralta. I was in Milwaukee covering. He was one of my favorite guys ever. Like, just from a personal standpoint, I really like Freddie Peralta. So I feel bad saying anything kind of bad about him. As great as he was, and he had a really good record, and he had a really good ERA, and he's an all-star caliber guy, he's also a guy who gives you 5 innings. There's a lot of 5 innings, 100-pitch days, and he's done. So I think if you dive into his numbers a little bit more, he's not quite as impactful as maybe you think he's going to be. But that doesn't, again, I'm not trying to take anything away from him. I just think from a surface level, you're like, oh my gosh, this guy's an all-star. Oh my gosh, this guy's got a 3 whatever ERA. They just do their thing, and they just trade guys away before they lose them. And that's how it's always going to be in Milwaukee, unless the finances of Major League Baseball really, really change with the next CBA.
I think from a fan perspective, the thing about it that stinks is clearly they like him there, and basically the organization signals, hey, we're not going to try. We know we're not going to keep him, so sorry, he's gone. I would think it's really difficult as a fan to have an organization like that.
They keep winning, though, Ron.
They did that, but
they make moves. Like, this is nothing new to that fan base. They have seen this play out a million times over and over again, and then they just find ways to win. And those players that they bring in tend to be really, really impactful. Like, where would this team be without Jackson Churio, who's a superstar in the making? Well, he came over in one of those kind of deals. So I understand what you're saying. It's how they maintain winning, and if they stop doing that, I think the winning would also stop.
Matt Pauley, my understanding is you did something to the bus during the Cardinals caravan. What did you do?
So it was funny. So we were on bus. It was our group was Matt Adams, Alan Bennis, and then 4 players: Blaze Jordan, Riley O'Brien, Gordon Graceffo, and Richard Fitz. And we're rolling out, and I kind of doze off in the bus, and I wake up, and I'm looking around, and I'm seeing like kind of smoke. And I'm like, I'm thinking, am I in like a daze or something? Is this not real? Because nobody else is reacting. And I look at Matt Adams. I go, is that smoke? And what happened was there was a coolant leak for the back portion of the bus that like controls the heating unit. So that's why the smoke was coming through. We pulled off. They tried to it was actually Alan Bennis. This dude's a man's man. He's a true tough guy. He got under the bus. Former pitcher Alan Bennis gets under the bus with the driver and is like advising the driver on what's going on. And he figures out, I think, that there is this big leak. They tried to put more coolant in. The coolant was red. It was pouring right out. I've got this picture. It looks like we had dead bodies on the bus and blood was leaking out because there's just pools of red liquid under the bus. But they eventually got it figured out. They fixed the leak, and we made all of our stops. But yeah, it's a little disconcerting when you're on the bus and there's just smoke pouring in from all the heating
I
vents.
love that Alan Bennis fixed the bus.
Yeah, it's great.
But also, Matt, if you were to show me a photo of a pool of red under a bus and then said Matt Pauley was on this bus and didn't give me any other information, I would have assumed that you murdered somebody.
Safe bet. I don't know if you can see for people who are watching the stream.
Oh my gosh, it looks pretty criminal.
Yeah,
pretty criminal.
So and Alan Bennis fixes buses, huh?
Man, he can do a lot of stuff, and he had no problem. Like, he went right to it. He jumped to action like it was no big deal. And I'm just sitting there going, man, that guy is much more of a man than I am.
That's impressive because a bus too, different than a car. Maybe there are similarities, but you're tackling a whole different horse there.
They both have tires.
Do you tackle horses?
No, you cannot tackle
you
a
could
horse.
try.
No. All right, Matt Pauley, Sports Open line tonight. Oh, no. Hold on. Countdown to opening day.
Yeah, countdown to opening day. So Mike Claiborne and myself. Claibs has already found himself in Florida. So we have pitchers and catchers report. We have a full position player group, and then we have Claibs report day. Claibs has officially reported down to Florida. So Claibs and I will host, me from here, him from Florida, and we'll do a countdown tonight.
Fantastic. 6 to 8. We'll be listening.
All right, sounds great.
Yo, Paulie, your sister's with me. I'll call you back later. See ya.
That's Matt Pauley. Sports Open line, Rush Hour Sports at 5 o'clock on KMOX. And then tonight, countdown to opening day, 6 until 8 o'clock. That's our guy. There is a former sideline reporter who has decided to run for Senate. We'll tell you about that. She has an interesting perspective on why she is suited to be a senator. And we'll tell you what that is when we come back on KMOX. Don't forget, Major Garrett joins the show at 10:30, and we will have the Winter Storm press conference from the city of St. Louis at 11 here on KMOX.
St. Louis has a voice.
KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
That voice has shared our stories from headline to history.
In afternoon programming for American radio. The program is called At Your Service.
Among those voices, Mike Kelly.
Kaufman at the 11. Kaufman hurdles a man at the 5, fighting for the end zone. Touchdown, Missouri!
Working at KMOX is an honor and a responsibility to represent this community. It's one we take seriously. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey guys, it's Glover. Right now, buy 4 windows and get 4 free and 0% financing for 60 months, $1,000 off, plus a bonus vacation voucher. Restrictions apply. Call 314-334-2522. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-549-1238 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-549-1238. That's 800-549-1238. What do you have to lose? Call 800-549-1238. Again, 800-549-1238.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fira Capital Management for Your Retirement Highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
Hello, St. Louis. Proud son of St. Louis, John Hamm here, wishing KMOX a happy 100th Earth Day, a centennial of being the voice of St. Louis.
For years, I covered the biggest football games in America. I walked the sidelines when the pressure was mounting and the stakes were the highest. That job taught me about more than football. It taught me about how leadership really works. When leaders are prepared and accountable, teams succeed. When they aren't, people pay the price.
That is the voice of former sideline reporter Michelle Tafoya. Maybe you have seen her work on the national stage. I've seen her cover Final Fours. She used to cover the NFL. She was all over. And she has decided to run as a Republican for the U.S. Senate seat in the state of Minnesota. Chris and Amy here on KMOX. Glad you're with us. And this is interesting. Let me preface any of this by saying that, I mean, anybody can run for Senate. And I don't think there is... Just because you were only in sports or because you were an actor or a plumber doesn't mean you can't. Ronald Reagan? That doesn't mean you can't run for office. I mean, that's what Congress is supposed to be, a collection of all kinds of people from around the country, different walks of life who want to end up in public service. That's the ideal, right? Mm-hmm. So I think everybody is capable of becoming a senator or a representative or president or whatever, right? They're supposed to represent us. Here's what I think is weird about the Tafoya thing, is that her tweet, and that was her ad, and it's about 2.5 minutes or so on her Twitter account. And she writes this, quote, "For years," and you heard a little bit of this, by the way, "for years, I walked the sidelines when the stakes were highest, and that job taught me how leadership really works." Okay. Look, dude, being a sideline reporter is a difficult job. It's not like, it's not intensive labor or anything, but it is a difficult job. You have to talk to people. You have to
be assertive.
Yeah, you're a reporter. Yeah. Okay. But to say that, you were on the sideline and you watched Bill Belichick win a Super Bowl, that doesn't by proximity doesn't mean that you're qualified to be a senator. And that's like Amy saying, hey, I was at the Blue Stanley Cup. I was on the ice after the game.
To be fair,
I should be a congressman now.
I don't think it's that hard to be in the House of Representatives. But, I mean, a senator, a U.S. senator is shooting high. Now, it used to be a much higher bar. I have always held the Senate in much higher esteem than I hold the House of Representatives. I've always said the House of Representatives truly is the people's house. A lot of insane idiots in the House because they represent us. They really do. If you were to look at the House of Representatives and then look at America and go, yeah, that probably is right. But the Senate was supposed to be a little bit more elevated. We've struggled in recent years, but I still do think of it as more elevated. So jumping in from sideline reporter to a U.S. Senator is a big jump. And like you said, anybody can try that jump. And some people announce that they're running for U.S. Senate and then change their mind and maybe run as for representative or whatever it may be. But yeah, I know her name.
Yeah.
But I've never paid attention to her. So I didn't know even if she was running Republican or Democrat at first, because as soon as she used the word radical, I knew which side she was on. But
it's a good buzzword.
It's a good buzzword. It is a favorite.
Yeah.
But it's fine. I just maybe don't make the analogy that because I was on the sidelines, I know what it's like to be in leadership.
Yeah, that's not the thing I would say.
It's a little bit of a different skill set. It's still a skill set, because I've always said it would be intimidating. You've got all those, people down there, especially in football. I mean, it's a pretty heavy testosterone area, a lot of big guys, and you have to just push your way through, find the coach, grab the coach, talk to him, ask him questions. And I don't think anyone's really thrilled that you're there asking questions. So it is a skill set.
Of course.
I just don't know if it's a Senate skill set.
No,
maybe.
And I don't know. Maybe she would end up being a good one, and maybe not a crazy one. I don't know what she would do. I have no idea. I just think it's a strange thing to say. Here's my qualification for being a senator. I was on the sideline when the stakes were the highest. Well, yeah, but you're not the one making decisions.
You were calling plays.
Yeah, you weren't the one deciding should I kick the field goal or go for it.
Technically, we're all on the sidelines when the moments are the toughest.
I almost died on Sunday of a heart attack.
You did?
Watching the Bears play. And so I was stressed out. Does that make me
a doctor?
Yes.
A cardiologist?
Right.
Hey, well, good
so
for
yes
her.
Or no? Does it make me a cardiologist or not?
She's running against a conspiracy theorist, so that's good. Try to at least knock that guy out.
We'll talk to Major Garrett, Chief Washington Correspondent for CBS News when we come back on 104.1 FM KMOX.
For 100 years, KMOX has been the voice of St. Louis, informing, entertaining, and connecting our community. Now, relive a century of service at KMOX100.com, a website that allows you to explore classic KMOX audio, rare photos and video, and the legendary voices that shaped St. Louis. Every headline, every heartbreak, every heartbeat lives on at KMOX100.com.
This is John Pertzborn with Ben and Gentry for HeatUpSt.Louis.org.
We're the Golden Boys!
For the 26th Rise and Shine benefit.
It's Friday, February 13th.
Your lucky day to volunteer.
Or buy a sausage or egg biscuit for $1.
At participating area Hardee's.
It's HeatUpSt.Louis.org to also pre-order. That's HeatUpStLouis.org.
Put the biscuits down, Ben.
Oy!
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
Currently, it is 34 degrees. I believe this is what they call the calm before the storm. A high today of 40, but tonight, increasing clouds, breezy and frigid, a low of 10.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code RAIN to get up to a $5 per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code RAIN to get up to a $5 per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code RAIN.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-894-7722. That's 800-894-7722. Again, 800-894-7722.
Thank you, St. Louis, for making Genesis of St. Charles your most trusted and #1 Genesis dealer in Missouri for 2026. We know your time is valuable. That's why every purchase comes with 3 years of complimentary Genesis Service Valet. Unlock your e-price and save. That means complimentary vehicle pickup and delivery, plus a loaner vehicle at no additional cost. Or want something new? We'll bring the test drive to you. Visit genesisofstcharles.com today. Based on GMA sales records for 2025. See dealer for details.
I dared Archwell Health to keep track of my vitals and my grandkids' names.
I dared Archwell Health to simplify my prescriptions, so Max and I have more time to play. Good boy.
And I dared Archwell Health to be closer than my neighborhood coffee shop.
Our members dared us to do more as a primary care provider for adults age 60 and up. So we made it our mission. Visit archwellhealth.com and become a member today. Archwell Health. We dare to care.
Friday night, it's men's Billikens basketball action as they take on St. Bonaventure. Pre-game 4:15, tip at 4:30 on your home for Billikens basketball. KMOX.
It's Major News with Major Garrett, our weekly conversation with CBS's chief Washington correspondent.
And also first baseman
That's
for
right.
the San Diego Padres fantasy camp.
Batting third for your San Diego Padres. First baseman, Major Garrett.
I heard Jake Peavy's scouting report on him, and it sounded like he was very complimentary of you, Major.
Yeah, it was a great experience. Better than I imagined, and I imagined it would be good. I'd been thinking about it for more than 5 years, finally did it, and it exceeded every expectation I had. There was 6 magical days in Peoria, Arizona at the Padres Spring Training Complex. Yes, you pay for it. Yes, you're paying for the fantasy of being treated like a major leaguer, and it was worth every penny.
Did Jake make you go to the Moon Saloon with him?
So that's a very frequently attended haunt there for fantasy campers. I did not go. When I was done playing baseball by 6:30, 7 o'clock at night, I got some food and I went to sleep. And I woke up early. We were back at the complex every morning at 7. And some of the guys who stayed out there, and well, they're made of sterner stuff than I am. I played baseball, and I stuck to my P's and Q's trying to play baseball.
Did you?
At a very advanced age, by the way, 63.
You did great.
Okay,
I entered camp with limited mobility, and as every day of the camp continued, my mobility grew more and more limited day by day.
I told you to utilize the trainers, did you?
I did. Oh yeah, and they're
Ice
miracle
bath.
workers.
Yeah.
But there's only so much my aged body can withstand, you know, and they did great work, not just on me but on everyone else. I mean, one of the amazing component parts of this camp is you have access to everything that the Padre players have, everything that the major leaguers have. So the 6 trainers who make sure that Manny Machado can play third base every day, that Fernando Tatis can play right field, that Jackson Merrill can play center, are the same ones trying to help you get back on the field. And everything that's available to them is available to you. And that means the cold tubs, the hot tubs, the sauna, the massage tables, all the things they use to treat major leaguers are brought to bear to make you feel better. And they are borderline miracle workers, but still a fatigued body is a fatigued body. And by day 6, my legs were basically inoperable.
I'll tell you. And I don't know how this is going to make you feel, but I did White Sox fantasy camp 2-3 different times right down the road in Glendale. And we had a guy who ended up on my team each time. He was in his 80s, and we played 14 innings a day. We played 7-inning games twice a day.
Right.
He caught every single game.
Unbelievable.
What?
Unbelievable.
Wow.
That is miraculous.
Yes. He insisted on
That
it.
is miraculous.
Major,
Yeah,
you know that Ranj was like the pre and post game guy for the White Sox. He did some play-by-play for the White Sox. Big baseball guy here.
Yeah,
big
that's
baseball
amazing. Yeah.
So, so we're
I
glad you're okay.
I don't want to brag, Major.
So we're glad you're okay.
We are in the presence of baseball broadcasting royalty.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. And so from Peoria, Arizona, where it's beautiful, you are now in D.C., where you're about to get 1 million feet of snow, apparently.
Yes. I've been through this many times. This sounds like a big storm. Sometimes big storms arrive. I went through the big storm in '96, big storm in 2016. D.C. has gotten better at it since I moved here. I moved into the district in 1991. Back then, I think there was one snowplow, and basically all it did was clear the driveway at Mayor Barry's house, Marion Barry. That was it. We have many more snowplows now.
Speaking of snow,
the roads better. We do all the. Yeah, speaking of snow, that's a nice reference. Look it up, kids. You'll have fun. Yeah, just Google snow quotation marks Marion Barry, and the blank set me up. You'll have a rabbit hole that will please you for at least 2 hours. So the projections are on Sunday, 20 to 24 inches of snow in one day. I don't know if that's going to happen. Maybe it'll be 8 or 9 inches. But as I once said on live television on Fox News, the lion-hearted capital of the global war on terrorism is paralyzed by 1/2 inch of snow. So it doesn't take much to make this city lock up when the snow falls. So I imagine this weekend we're going to be locked up, and maybe Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday will be snow days for the kids, and federal workers will have time off.
Well, if you can't get Greenland, you can bring Greenland to D.C.
Or Iceland, whichever.
Or Iceland.
Or Iceland, Maybe it's Palau. I don't know.
But Major, there obviously the whole Greenland kerfuffle. But yesterday, President Trump said that no, he's not going to use force to take Greenland, and that he had quote formed a framework for a future deal on Greenland.
Right.
What do we know?
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing. Everything that was true before this whole quote-unquote confrontation began is true today. There was an open door for the President of the United States to walk through. The open door is Greenland, the Greenlanders, 57,000 of them, the government of Denmark, said, we are open to any dialogue about improving security posture for NATO and for the United States on Greenland. Just as a quick historical footnote, during the Cold War, the United States had 17 bases on Greenland. 17, okay, with the full assent and cooperation of the Danish government and Greenlanders. 17 bases. We now have one. Whose decision was that? That was the United States decision. So we went from 17 to 1, which means we could go back to 17. That's easy. That was never even contested in theory or in practice. But what Trump said is, no, I want it. I want to own it. The only way America will care about it is if it owns it, which is also not true. We have dozens upon dozens of high-functioning, important military bases around the world on lands that we do not own, that we have a least cooperative arrangement with the host government. That's true in Germany. It's true in Asia, throughout Europe, the Middle East, elsewhere. We don't need to own Greenland. So all of this confrontation and the bond market fluctuations on Monday and the stock market fluctuations, all of that was unnecessary because what the president has now said has taken force off the table, taken tariffs off the table, is a framework to have future conversations. Huh? We've been able to do that from the very start. So a lot of Sturm and Drang for apparently something that was already in existence.
Yeah, it kind of seems like some of the trade deals, and I put that in quotations, that were agreed upon, over the last several months. Like I got this new deal with China or with whomever, and it just seemed like that's already what was in existence, right? Those were already in place.
Think about this. The UK and the European Union had negotiated what they thought was a new set of trade terms with the Trump administration. And the European Union was getting ready to have that ratified. Then Trump throws in, 10% tariffs and 25% tariffs later because you sent a small contingent of troops to Greenland just as a way of saying, we don't really like this way you're trying to bully us around about the sovereignty of Greenland and the relationship the United States has with NATO. Trump sees that as a provocation and basically eradicates the hard negotiated trade deal. So the European Union says, well, we're not going to ratify it. The other thing that was going on in the corridors of Davos, there was conversation. I don't know how serious they were, but lots of reporters picked up on it, that the Europeans were considering not sending their soccer clubs to the World Cup. And let me tell you, you want to see something that got Trump's attention in a very big way? I don't know if that was a serious threat or not. I don't know if it was purely performative, but if it was performative, it probably had the desired effect, because in the end, we are where we always have been. Let's talk. Arctic security is important. Greenland is centrally located between the part of Russia over which any intercontinental ballistic missile would come, should it ever come. We hope it never does, toward the United States. If we want to have more interceptors there, part of a Golden Dome or some sort of domed relationship to intercepting anything that comes our way that is harmful, Greenland is central to that. Are there vessels that are Chinese and Russian flagged that now, because of global warming and the Arctic Sea becoming more accessible and more navigable, do we have more interest there? Yes, that's always been true. No one has argued with the president about that. But issues like sovereignty, which he cares very much about here in America, are important to the Danes, they're important to the Greenlanders, and they don't want to be bullied. They don't want to be treated like chumps. And so they're not going to be right now, based on where we are, a framework that has no clarity whatsoever and was always an open door for the president to walk through.
Major, let's say there was nothing unusual about this presidency. He was a regular, boring president like we've had in the past. and regular, boring policy disagreements, but nothing like we've seen with tariffs or statements about other countries, or even, statements that Rob Reiner deserved to be murdered by his son because he had Trump derangement syndrome. All of that is gone. He's just a regular, boring president. And then what has transpired over the past couple of days happens with Greenland, with the rambling about playing baseball and losing a finger and his mom, just like bizarre rambling. Would that not spur conversations about the mental wellness of the president, his acuity, and even the 25th Amendment if we weren't so inured to this type of behavior?
That's self-evident. The question answers itself. Everyone knows that. But because we are where we are, because we have grown either accustomed or fatigued to the point of being able to barely notice things about the president that would starkly stand out and in worrisome ways were it any other occupant of the White House. The rambling at the beginning of his press conference in the briefing room on his 1-year anniversary, the things you mentioned, lots of other aspects of what the president does, how he says it, how he goes about it, would create a sense of concern bordering on alarm. However, there were plenty of Americans who were, over time, increasingly alarmed about Joe Biden. The reality of the American presidency is this. President is the president. The mechanisms by which to remove him from office are cumbersome by design, and they are politically risky in the extreme. History, I think, will record that many Democrats who knew better looked the other way. History may very well record in this time, right now, that Republicans who know better are looking the other way. And the country has to ride it out. It had to ride it out when Woodrow Wilson was president, and he was barely physically functioning. and there were grave doubts about his mental acuity after a stroke, and his wife was making lots of decisions inside the White House for the country for not just a weekend or a day or something like that, for a prolonged period of time. I'm not saying that this is normal. I'm not saying it has been normalized. I'm just saying that there are other times in our history in which these questions were raised quietly or internally, or people knew more than they were conveying, and the presidency continued. And the elected president continued, even though that elected president wasn't operating as that elected president had operated before. We very well may be in that place now. But he is the president. He was duly elected. And therefore, we are where we are.
Major Garrett, we love talking to you. We are glad that there were no major injuries for you.
No significant injuries. That's correct. Emphasis on no significant injuries.
Yeah.
But I spent a week after camp basically creaking around in an achy sense of, oh my God, am I ever going to recover? Am I ever going to be able to actually get out of bed in a normal way ever again? And I'm telling you now, it's beginning to get to that place. I've begun to work all the fatigue, all the aches and pains out of my body, except my left knee. My left knee is still a little barky, but that's the last holdup.
You know what's going to happen about September for you? You're going to start thinking, you know what? Wouldn't be a bad idea to go back there.
Oh, I'm already signing up today.
Are you really?
Yep. Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, because they offer the sign up. I don't know if they did this with you, Ron, but they offer the sign up right after. They want you at that absolute apex of high from camp, so you drop your dime again.
Well, I will tell you,
I'm dropping my dime again. Let the record reflect. I'm going back next year.
I don't mean to brag, but I got to go for free. No big deal.
Oh, because you're extra special,
That's right. That's right.
Major.
But I will say this about fantasy camp. So
Yeah.
if you go to Cardinals fantasy camp, Padres, whatever, I mean, I don't know how many people I talked to after the fact who said, you know, it was a birthday gift or an anniversary gift, or I finally saved up and I did it. And it was the first time out of several they had gone, because they went once and they said, I have got to come back again. Even though it's expensive.
There were 104 players, 5 women, by the way.
Yep.
104 players. 70 were returnees.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. It's like a drug. Once you go once, you got to go back. We're glad you survived.
Yep.
We knew you would. Thank you for being back this week, and we'll talk to you next week.
We'll talk next week.
That is first baseman Major Garrett for the San Diego Padres. That was probably his lifelong dream before he got into
Think he signed
political
baseballs
coverage
for people, or signed something?
We should have asked him.
Well, that's what I was trying to do, but somebody kept talking.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Chris and Amy on KMOX. We've got that press conference coming up scheduled from the city. They will let us know what is happening with preparation for a possible winter storm here in the city. That's coming up at 11 on KMOX.
Barnes Jewish Hospital and WashU Medicine physicians have long been leaders in heart and vascular care. Now, we're taking the patient experience to another level by opening our new state-of-the-art patient tower, designed specifically with heart patients in mind. By combining the latest technology with thoughtful design and private rooms, heart patients can experience faster healing, reduced stress, and improved outcomes. Learn more at barnesjewish.org/heart.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends at Michael's Baths. Were you feeling a little embarrassed when the family came to visit for the holidays and all you could think about was your bathroom not quite being up to par? Now is the perfect time to plan ahead for a spring installation of a beautiful new bathroom. At Michael's Baths, we specialize in beautiful, safe bathroom remodels, from tub to shower conversions to full renovations, including paint and electrical work. Call 636-775-0800 or go to michaelsbaths.com. Mike is a great guy, does great work. That's michaelsbaths.com.
2 legendary bands, 1 massive night of classic rock. Foreigner, performing the songs that defined a generation. You're as cold as ice. And Leonard Skinner, bringing Southern rock anthems to St. Louis. Foreigner, Leonard Skinner, coming to Hollywood Casino Amphitheater August 6th. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. For more information, KMOX.com/events.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
How many of you think taxes will go up in the future? And if they do, who will get hit the hardest? Maybe it's you, headed for retirement. You've been saving in that 401k or IRA, and that money has never been taxed. And Uncle Sam is looking at that account like it's a big, juicy steak. What can you do about it? Join the All Financial Group for their Taxes in Retirement Seminar, Thursday, February 19th or Tuesday, February 24th. They believe a financial plan is not a retirement plan without a tax plan. Fund your retirement, not Uncle Sam's. Reserve your spot today by calling 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824. Or go to yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
Chris Ronchi, Amy Markscores, because life is too short for boring radio. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
There's a tweet from the Missouri Department of Transportation from, I guess this was yesterday, that says, in anticipation of dropping temperatures and wintry precipitation predicted to hit the St. Louis area starting Friday, MoDOT crews are out today treating the roads. That's good news, right? It goes on with a beet juice and brine mixture. So,
hold on.
So, have you heard of this before?
No.
I have not heard of this before.
And beet juice, they mean the juice of beets, not
B-E-
No, I know, but you know how you could call it beet juice because it's pink, but it's really something else like salt and chemicals?
No, I don't know this.
But no, I'm just saying it could be a nickname. Sometimes I feel like we have a great show, and then sometimes I feel like we're talking different languages.
I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't know that you could just call anything beet juice because it's red.
It's not beet juice specific, but what I'm saying is it a funny little nickname, or is it actually beet juice?
Well, it says beet juice and brine. Yeah, I don't know why they would say anything else. But what is it with beet juice that allows... I've never heard this before.
It says... Beet juice is a sticky, dark-colored liquid used to pre-treat roads before snowstorms, making it easier to keep roads clear in cold, icy conditions. I had never heard this either because runners drink beet juice because it is very good for your cardiovascular system.
One of our favorite know-it-alls who watches on YouTube, Colonel Ripper, says, why is this new to you? Beet juice used every year. Okay.
I don't know.
Great, Colonel Ripper.
Dude, we've talked about so many snowstorms
and
never
heard of
once.
Beet juice once.
We have talked to the head of MoDOT and IDOT.
Never mentioned beet juice.
They've never mentioned beet juice.
He
is a bit of a know-it-all.
Yeah. Oh, dude, he's the worst. But we appreciate you listening and messaging every single day.
It's got to be not very much beet juice because have you ever cut a beet? It
have
stains
you ever
everything. Gone to the bathroom?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
The first time I ever had beet juice and the next day went to the bathroom, I almost called 911.
Thought you were dying.
I had no idea.
I was like, I have a tumor that exploded.
Yep, that's what I thought. I thought I was done for. All right, we do have that press conference coming up. It is scheduled for 11 o'clock, and, we'll lead you up to it, and then we'll take you to it. The winter weather expected for St. Louis, and what are the city's preparations for it? And what exactly should we expect? We will hear from the city of St. Louis coming up in moments right here on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Lifestyles Unlimited is a real estate education group that gives you the roadmap and resources to start building income through real estate. You'll learn practical strategies for using investment properties to create extra income and make informed decisions, one step at a time. Join today for just $297. That's a 60% savings off the regular price of our real estate education program. Text RADIO to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
Looking for your dream home in Wentzville? Welcome to Sutton Farms by Lombardo Homes, where community and comfort come together. Enjoy resort-style living with a private clubhouse, indoor courts, a splash pad, sand volleyball, walking trails, and even a dog park. Design your own custom home in our Parkside, Nature, or Tradition series, all within the top-rated Wentzville School District. Discover the perfect blend of small-town charm and modern convenience at Sutton Farms, located off Piney Road in Wentzville. Visit lombardohomes.com to learn more.
Breakfast burritos for the morning brainstorm. Easy Cater. Paninis for the lunch and learn. Easy Cater. Barbecue for the clients from Boston. Easy Cater. Brownie boxes and mini bundt cakes for Brenda's workiversary. Easy Cater. One simple platform to feed any size group with food they love from favorite restaurants, plus tools to help you meet dietary needs and stay on budget. Easy Cater. All the food for your workplace, all in one place. Start an order at easycater.com.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line. But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
You know Gray Bar for electrical parts. But there's one more thing you may not be thinking of us for that can help maximize your next project's total value. Our pre-project planning services are designed to help you win the bid, save on labor costs, and keep your installers productive across your entire build. The sooner you call us, the better. Because when we're there from the beginning, we can anticipate your needs and help you solve problems before they become problems. Yep, Gray Bar does that.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is Corey from Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. There's never a good time for your heating system to stop working. If yours does, no matter what time or day, Air Comfort Service offers 24/7 emergency HVAC service. Contact our award-winning team for 5-star heating service and stay in your comfort zone. For heating and 24/7 emergency service, contact Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation at aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
It is 11 o'clock, and right now we've got sunshine in downtown St. Louis. It is 33 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterey. St. Louis is preparing for the first major winter storm of 2026. Sean Malone is at City Hall.
Well, December served as kind of a warm-up, if you will, for St. Louis City. This is going to serve as a first true test for Mayor Kara Spencer and her tenure of how they will handle some of the basics that she campaigned on as mayor, including plowing the streets. With snowfall totals potentially getting near double-digit figures in St. Louis, it'll be interesting to see and hear from her as to how differently the city is going to be handling things this time around, frequently attacking her predecessor, Mayor Tashara Jones, for the major snowfall the city saw about a year ago this time. Outside St. Louis City Hall, Sean Malone, KMOX News.
And again, Mayor Spencer is expected to have a news conference that is going to start momentarily, and we'll bring that to you live as she takes the microphone. Jack Smith testifying before the Republican-led House Oversight Committee.
Former Special Counsel Jack Smith and California Republican Representative Kevin Kiley, who questioned Smith's methods.
Do you believe that you made any mistakes? Do you have any regrets as to how you conducted this investigation?
We followed the facts and the law. These people who work for me sacrificed endlessly and have endured way too much
Smith says if he were asked whether to prosecute a former president based on the same facts today, he would do so. Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
If Governor Mike Kehoe gets his way, Missouri would become the 10th state in the nation to eliminate its income tax. Sarah Narkowitz is with the Low Income Taxpayer Clinic at Washington University and tells KMOX the Show Me State doesn't really compare to others like Nevada that generates big revenue through tourism, or Alaska with its natural resources.
Missouri's sort of an unknown because we don't have those rich resources. We're not a really big tourism state, and it's just not as clear that we'd be able to generate revenue as efficiently as the other states that have this system.
The income tax makes up about 2/3 of state revenue, and Narkowitz says a shift away from state income taxes generally benefits higher income earners. The KMOX alum and Baseball Hall of Fame broadcaster Bob Costas is returning to NBC. The network announcing today that Costas will serve as pregame host for Sunday Night Baseball as it makes the transition from ESPN to NBC and streaming on Peacock. Costas says he considers NBC his true broadcasting home and now will go live to Mayor Kara Spencer.
Talk about the weather that we're expecting here this weekend. So first of all, on the private property assistance program, we announced this week that we have a deadline to apply for private property assistance of February 14th. This does two things. We know that debris removal and repairs are essential steps in the tornado recovery. We have a limited window to get those projects moving. We're asking every eligible property owner or family member, neighbor, community partner, anybody and everybody to help us spread the word that this deadline of February 14th is an incredibly important one. We need to get those applications in so that we can move forward with these repairs when possible and the debris removal and demolition where needed. The deadline is important for two main reasons, one of which, as we move forward with our state partners, we have got to get work products in the queue. We've got to get the work products out for bid so we can start moving those debris removal and demolition projects forward. We've got to have a good idea of how much stabilization work is needed for those that can be repaired. And secondly, we recognize that this is an area that has had long-standing absentee property owners for decades, and we've got to start being able to go in where needed and really doing some forcible work to make sure that those folks that have been unresponsive for a very long time, we have a mechanism to start bringing people to the table. So, there's no penalty here, obviously, but we're really encouraging folks to engage who haven't already engaged in moving the work forward for their properties. If you haven't yet, I will share just a couple things. Online, you can start that process at app.stlrecovers.com. You can also reach our STL Recovers Outreach Center at 4401 Natural Bridge or call our center at 833-925-0977. So we're on hand. We're ready to take those applications and move those things forward. And again, this is for everybody, a residential property owner, residential landlords, commercial property owners, mixed-use property owners. Everybody is encouraged to apply. Okay, on the topic of the day, the hot topic, or the cold topic, if you will, the winter weather that we are expecting. You all know this. We have some very seriously cold weather rolling in over the next few days with temperatures near or below zero and near the negative 10-degree mark for a wind chill. We have a high likelihood of snow, and so the city is kicking into gear to make sure that we are prepared and ready for this winter weather event to keep our residents safe and to keep our roads clear. We know that with those temperatures going below zero, going below 10 degrees below zero, we are expecting to activate the level 4 of Code Blue starting tomorrow. Today we're in a Code Blue level 3, which means we do have shelter space available tonight. The level 4 tomorrow will activate even more shelter space in some of those daytime warming centers. So typically we have shelter space available, but with the level 4, we're anticipating having an additional 600 beds online, bringing the total available shelter space to about 1,000. Citywide. We're also going to be fully activating our transportation to shelter, and we have fully activated our winter weather unified command led by SEMA. We just came out of a pretty lengthy call there here this morning, and we're going to be continuing to monitor that and continue to activate the winter weather command calls on a daily basis as we go through this winter weather event. This means that we have close coordination through all of the departments that touch winter weather throughout the event. The National Weather Service, of course, is part of that effort. They have issued a cold weather advisory and a winter storm watch for the weekend, so we do expect this to be very serious, and I encourage everyone who needs a warm place to take advantage of the shelters, to call 211. You'll get the best information, and again, those transportation as needed through our great partners. We know that this kind of weather poses a particular risk to seniors and young children and people with disabilities. Our Department of Health is encouraging residents to limit time outdoors, to dress warmly in layers, and to bring your pets inside to check on neighbors and loved ones and to reach out where needed. So I have a few folks here with me, of course, because of the anticipated snow. Our street department has begun pre-treating our snow routes and deploying. They're on call and ready to deploy salt trucks and snow plows once that precipitation hits our area this weekend. We have 450 miles of snow routes. It's a big effort, but I've seen our crews, and I know they're ready to work extremely hard. Director Jackson has a great plan, and I've also invited our Department of Human Services here, Director Adam Pearson, to talk some more about the details of how we're addressing and preparing to serve some of our most vulnerable. I'd like to now turn it over to Dr. Pearson to talk about some of the ways in which we're serving our population's most vulnerable, and then we'll hear from Director Jackson.
Sure. Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, everyone. Great to see you. So as the Mayor indicated, we are activating Code Blue Level 4 tomorrow starting in the daytime. Tonight is going to be Level 3. Just as a reminder for the community, once we activate Level 3, that does turn on our transportation supports that we operate in close collaboration with the Bi-State Development Corporation. Can't thank them enough for their work with us this winter with the Code Blue operations. They deploy shuttles and drivers in collaboration with our city teams to pick up people at various rally points in the community. So that is being activated again tonight. It's going to activate again all throughout the weekend, at least through Monday. It's looking like we're going to have very, very cold temperatures through the weekend, and so we're going to stay activated at a level 4 starting tomorrow. And just to piggyback on what the mayor was talking about, when we say additional warming centers, what we mean is that the shelters that typically would release people in the morning would stay open during the daytime at a level 4 because it is so cold. So we do have some options for folks to get inside, and we encourage everybody to call 211, meet at the rally points that are available for Code Blue starting at 5 p.m. We can get you transportation to shelter. We have the free transportation through Metro, so we are going to be activating that. I did want to just express my gratefulness to the Department of Health, the Department of Public Safety. Again, by state, we have a number of sheltering partners in the community that have been doing some great work. Peter and Paul Community Services, Gateway 180, Eagles Nest, the Urban League has graciously offered us Rally Point access space. And so we have some phenomenal partnerships that we are working with to bring some of these beds online. Anybody who is interested in seeking shelter should seek shelter. If you have not sought shelter before, please feel free to come inside. We have meals, we have staff that can help you out. If there's anybody with families or disabilities or special access needs, feel free to call 211 for information on how to get into shelter. It's too cold outside this weekend to take any chances, and so we do have options available, calling on everybody to come inside if they can.
That is a press conference happening right now at City Hall. You previously heard from Mayor Kara Spencer. They are preparing for winter weather this weekend and extreme cold weather that we know for sure is coming. We don't know exactly how much snow we're going to get, but it's looking like the forecasts are telling us anyway, possibly 3 to 6 inches. And there is a more than likely probability in this area than not that we're going to get around 5. So, that's at least according to the National Weather Service, what they said this morning. The forecast could change and often do. So, we'll see what happens. The bottom line is just be prepared.
And probably if you're, out driving around, you want to be watching out for that precipitation. I think the big concern is just the dangerous cold and how it will be for several days. So as they were saying, check in on family, friends, the elderly. So you do have to be prepared for that, as well as your house. Whether you're looking at pipes, walls that, and pipes that are in exterior walls and so forth, just take precautions in that sense.
And they gave that number 211. So call 211 if you need help with finding a place to go. If it's cold, you need housing, you need some shelter, 211.
I did learn if a lot of people have their kitchen sinks and pipes are an exterior wall. And if you open your cabinets under the sink, and this is something that I'm sure everybody already knows, but I didn't know that. You open the cabinets before you leave your sinks even dripping, because we were always told in my old apartment buildings
to leave it dripping.
Yeah.
I don't even know if does that actually work?
I think it does, yes. But the landlord would always send us an email, please leave, the pipes dripping barely. But first and foremost, before you do that, opening your sinks, because you remember in 2022, Christmas 2022, when the temperatures were below zero, I had several neighbors, their pipes burst in their homes, which was bad. And we had pipes here that flooded the studio because they burst here.
Oh, that's right. That was a couple Christmases
2022.
ago? Yeah. No, I thought it was more recent than that. Okay. But I do remember when that happened. And we've had we have more than one know-it-all, I guess, who listens to this show.
Oh, we're being lambasted here.
Yeah, 314-436-7900. Talking about the beet juice. The beet juice and brine they use to treat the roads pre-treatment. And this texter says they've been using it for years, depending on conditions. And another one, for the most part, when they mention pre-treatment of the roads, it is always beet juice, some sort of concoction. Okay, well, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why do you know that?
I don't know why all these people know it. I think it's the same group of know-it-alls. It's probably the know-it-all that's mad that you asked one question about the Brewers.
Yeah, come on. Who would know something like that?
But it was 2022, or on December 22nd. It was about 40 degrees, and then the temperatures plummeted with wind chills at -30 here in St. Louis.
Oh, gosh, I forgot about that.
Like I said, the only reason I remember is neighbors' pipes burst, and this studio flooded.
So we were given also a bit of a primer, or is it a primer? I
think it's primer.
I think it is primer.
And I don't like that.
Primer is what you use before paint.
Yeah.
Primer is giving you information. Here's the information on the beet juice. Would you like it, Amy? The unassuming, and thank you to the texter who sent this in at 314-436-7900. The unassuming sugar beet makes a big difference when it comes to battling winter weather. When mixed with salt brine, beet juice helps the salt brine work at lower temperatures to treat icy or snow-packed surfaces. It has been proven to lessen the corrosive properties of the salt that is used to apply to the roads.
I like when sugar beets are unassuming, though. There's nothing worse than a pretentious sugar beet.
Right.
I like that they only use the unassuming ones.
MoDOT uses a mixture of 80% salt brine and 20% beet juice in most areas.
You could have a pretty healthy meal. You could maybe cure a ham or some pickles.
And then you will have
beet juice.
And then you'll have some red scoots the next day.
You certainly would.
Yeah, it's not. Again, if you've never eaten or you never drank beet juice and you do it for the first time, just be prepared that tomorrow you're going to get a surprise and you're going to go, oh my God, and then you'll remember you had beet juice.
It's scary at first.
Yes, but you're not dying. Trust us. Well, you might be. We don't know what's going on in your body. Go see a doctor anyway. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
St. Louis has a voice.
KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
That voice has shared our stories from headline to history.
Another home run! 4 in a row for Neil.
From moment to memory.
President George Bush is on his way to St. Louis right now.
Among those voices, Ron Jacober.
Welcome back to the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
Working at KMOX is an honor and a responsibility to represent this community. It's one we take seriously. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis. Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
Currently, it's 36 degrees, a high today of 40 tonight, frigid with increasing clouds, breezy late, a low of 10. Weather brought to you by Financial and Tax Strategies.
Retirement shouldn't feel like balancing your checkbook while blindfolded. I'm Gary Goldberg, and my team helps you see the big picture so you can retire younger, richer, and with less anxiety. Because guessing is not a strategy. Tune in to Wealth and Wisdom with Gary Goldberg Saturday mornings at 7 here on KMOX.
Hey guys, it's Dave. You know that saying, new year, new you? Well, how about new year, new home upgrade? Right now, when you buy 4 windows from Universal Windows Direct, you get 4 free. That's one of the biggest offers they've ever done. And with 0% interest financing for 60 months, you can spread out your payments over 5 years, same as cash without a penny of interest. But there's more. You'll get $1,000 off your entire project, plus a little something to look forward to, a vacation voucher through Destination Motivation with every purchase. Call 314-334-2522 or visit universalwindowsdirect.com.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I was ordering food from our usual place for the big meeting. My VP said, "Please, God, no."
For workplaces suffering with corporate catering deficiency, every day's a struggle.
The food was always meh and over budget. Before Easy Cater, I thought that was normal.
Easy Cater is designed to treat CCD with a huge variety of restaurants, help meet dietary needs, and stay on budget. Use daily. One platform lets you save time and thrive. Ask your web browser about Easy Cater or start an order at easycater.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hey, it's Debbie Monterey. 2026 is here. A new year means new goals, fresh starts, and for many homeowners, it might be time for that big move. If you've been thinking about selling, this is the year to make it happen. I'm here with Gloria Liu from Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria, what should home sellers know as we kick off the new year?
Thanks for having me. The start of a new year is always an exciting time, but it also means more sellers are jumping into the market. That adds competition, so timing and strategy matter. The good news is, my team has qualified buyers already looking for homes right now. Whether you need to sell quickly or maximize value, we'll create a plan that works for you. Plus, I guarantee to sell your home at your price and time frame, or I will buy it myself.
Start your new year strong with Gloria Liu and Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Call 314-325-6888 or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Make 2026 the year you move forward with confidence. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
This is Carol Daniel. I'm so proud to be part of KMOX's 100 years of broadcasting excellence. Congratulations.
Did you hear that there was a heckler who was booing Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick during an event during his speech in Davos, Switzerland?
I heard about it. Didn't hear what he said.
Yeah, someone was like, boo.
Yeah,
and then it interrupted his speech. Who was doing that? They found the culprit.
Uh-oh.
It's Al Gore.
Oh, former vice president
Remember Al Gore?
Of course. He was a vice president. How could you forget?
How could you forget? Yeah, he was booing. That was Gore's reaction after Lutnick, was attacking Europe in his remarks. And in fact, the European Central Bank president reportedly walked out of the event during Lutnick's speech. and then Al Gore was booing, and Reuters reports that the soiree was halted before dessert came out.
Oh, no. So they didn't get dessert?
I don't think so.
How good do you think the food is at this thing? It's got to be pretty good, right?
See, here's the thing. The Swiss don't miss. They don't. I love the Swiss. My good friend who lives in Switzerland, and I need to go back and visit him. He texted me this morning just some things about how the Swiss feel about.
So what did he tell you? You don't want to impart those to us?
No, one of them was he just he sent a
And we would
clip.
also, before you tell us, we would also like to point out that this person speaks for all of Switzerland. So go on.
He speaks for the Swiss German speaking.
Okay.
If it weren't for me, you'd be speaking German. And they're like, we speak German. You know what that had?
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, my gosh. That's the vibe from Little Big League. Have you ever been to Mexico? They've got kids as young as 3 years old speaking Spanish, and that's a hard language.
Yeah.
They speak Spanish in Mexico. I know. That's my point.
It's a great line.
They do. German is the official language of Switzerland.
In case you're wondering what she's talking about, the president,
sorry.
was it yesterday or the day before the president said if it weren't for the U.S., you'd all be speaking German? And Switzerland
responded,
well, we do.
We speak German.
So where are we on that?
It's their official language.
And then meanwhile, France told us if it weren't for us in the Revolutionary War, you'd all be speaking English.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
He sent a clip, and actually I think it was just from the Daily Show, about Donald Trump saying whatever about Switzerland, and they flip to a Ricola commercial, but they don't say Ricola. They say something else that ends in hola. I don't think we can say it with the A word.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, you cannot say that.
He said this was the best summary of it. And the thing is, this person is not flippant or trivial about the United States. This person loves the United States, actually, but it's just tough to imagine if a leader of a European country came here and just mocked you and said, you're nothing without me. I'm the one that made you who you are. I mean, it's just insane. But yeah, it's pretty interesting getting feedback from people in Switzerland. And I told you when we went to Switzerland last time around, it was right after the comments were made. I think it was by J.D. Vance that the immigrants were eating cats and dogs.
Well, he said it. The president said it in the debate.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. In the debate,
they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
in Ohio.
Yes, and we were asked about that in Switzerland.
So okay.
And I'm like, no, that's not how.
We can either here's what I'm going to say about this, because we can either care what other people in other countries think of us, or we cannot care. But you don't get to choose when you care. Right? Mm-hmm. Because it always seems like when people don't like the current president, it's the rest of the world thinks we're a laughingstock. And then your guy comes in, does some really goofy crap, and the rest of the world thinks he's a joke, or many people around the world think he is. And then you don't care. Suddenly you don't care. Who cares about the rest of the world? Who cares what they think? So either you care or you don't care. You don't get to pick and choose. You don't get to say, well, when my person is the president, then it doesn't really matter what anybody else says about us. Unless, of course, they like him, then it's awesome. Yeah, you see what I'm saying here? Like,
yeah.
Let's be consistent in how we look at viewpoints of the rest of the world. Personally, I do care. I do care what the rest of the world thinks of us. I do care, like, in the same way I care about St. Louis and how the rest of the country views St. Louis. And you can take this defensive posture and say, I don't care what New York thinks of us, or I don't care how people in Cincinnati or Chicago look at St. Louis. Well, I mean, I think you should, because commerce matters. Yeah. Opinions of your region matter. Tourism matters. People from other markets wanting to move here matters. It matters to the health of the region, so you should care about stuff like that. Well, and the same thing can be said on a bigger scale with the country. We should want tourists, and tourism has dropped precipitously
Because
in
people are
the
afraid.
last year. They're afraid of coming here.
But it's even more than that. There's a reason why diplomacy matters, and we talked about alliances amplify power, and NATO is a good thing. And in the connected world that we live in, what happens in Europe does affect us. We don't live completely isolated. Having a strong and healthy Europe is good for the United States because there are real geopolitical adversaries like China, like Russia. The last thing we want to do is drive Europe into the arms of China, for economic reasons, which the UK is already marching in that direction. But it's more than just, do we have their respect? It also matters that the word, the alliance, the agreements with the United States of America need to be reliable. They need to be stable. We want Europe to say that's a country that we trust when we have this agreement or this alliance. And when this is not my unique idea, but when you fundamentally destabilize relationships, you become, you take the bully attitude that I don't need anybody, you're nothing without me. I run the table. It's my way or the highway. I want what I want now. You fundamentally destabilize alliances and relationships and diplomatic relations, and that is bad for the United States. It's good for China. It's good for Russia,
That's right.
But it's bad for the United States. It's bad for our national security. And also, even when Trump's not president, it does generational damage because now Europe knows we are one election away from being an unreliable partner.
And as much as we can stress or talk about how we have the best military in the world, and we have never one time won a war completely by ourselves. We've always had to have help throughout our entire history as a country. Even in the if you want to call it a war, in Afghanistan. Denmark, by the way, sent a bunch of troops to help us after 9/11, and they had a bunch of people per capita killed. They had one of the worst outcomes in terms of troops killed in action helping us post 9/11. We had a huge number of their population. It wasn't a bunch of people so much, but in terms of per capita, it was. And they helped us. All these other countries, Canada helped us after the fact. We have never won a war without the help of other countries. So allies and relationships are hugely important to the United States. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Hey guys, Dave Glover here from the Dave Glover Show. So, what is my show? My show is 4 different people living 4 different lives, all coming together every day between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. to talk about life, actual life. Not so much headlines or did you see what Trump did today or XYZ. Never predictable because I never know what I'm going to talk about from one segment to the next. So it truly is unique and unpredictable. Join us.
104.1 FM, KMOX.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Thank you, St. Louis, for making Genesis of St. Charles your most trusted and #1 Genesis dealer in Missouri for 2026. We know your time is valuable. That's why every purchase comes with 3 years of complimentary Genesis Service Valet. Unlock your e-price and save. That means complimentary vehicle pickup and delivery, plus a loaner vehicle at no additional cost. Or want something new? We'll bring the test drive to you. Visit genesisofstcharles.com today. Based on GMA sales records for 2025. See dealer for details.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
Currently, it's 36. It feels like 44. Clouds and sun today, a high of 40. But tonight, frigid with increasing clouds, a low of 10.
Hey, St. Louis City SC fans, mark your calendars now. The Boys in Red return to Energizer Park to kick off Season 4 Saturday, February 21st. And you could be there for the dawn of a new golden era of St. Louis soccer. Go to stlcitysc.com/tickets and reserve your seat now for the MLS home opener versus Charlotte FC. Limited quantities remain. See you soon, St. Louis.
This is John Pertzborn with Ben and Gentry for HeatUpSt.Louis.org.
We're the Golden Boys.
For the 26th Rise and Shine benefit,
It's Friday, February 13th.
your lucky day to volunteer.
Or buy a sausage or egg biscuit for $1
At participating area Hardee's.
It's heatupstlouis.org to also pre-order. That's heatupstlouis.org.
Put the biscuits down, Ben.
Oi!
What if every time you spent money, you saved money too? With Achieve It Checking from Together Credit Union, you can do just that. Every debit card purchase is rounded up to the nearest dollar, and the spare change goes right into your savings. And here's the best part. Together Credit Union boosts your progress by matching qualifying savings, up to $8 a month. It's a free checking account that helps you achieve more automatically. Learn more, or better yet, enroll today at togethercu.org. Together Credit Union. Federally insured by NCUA.
It's 2026 and it's time to get your home zero resified by calling our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $119 plus a free hallway, and take 15% off regularly priced services when you mention the KMOX special. ZeroResSTL.com.
This is the Gas House Gang from KMOX.
Bernie Nicholas and the Gas House Gang, today at noon on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
Klaus pulls it back against 2 defenders. did. No, he swirls, he shoots, and scores! Oh, Joao Klaus! 73rd minute! City lead!
Well, it looks like we're nearing the end of the Klaus era here in St. Louis. City SC is working on a deal with the LA Galaxy, according to reporting from yesterday. And this is one of the more popular players in the city as far as City SC goes. You'd say Roman Berkey is probably the other guy. And we now go to the guest line this morning. We bring in Jen Cease. She is one of our soccer experts here on KMOX, and you can hear her on City SC coverage this upcoming season. What's going on, Jen?
You guys had to lead with the Klaus goal just to twist the knife a little more, huh?
Yeah. So is this good or not good, or what's happening here? Because we know a roster is being rebuilt.
Well, and that's to Chris. What you're saying is it is, but they're not. Nobody's saying that just yet. So I think that's probably one fan frustration is, what are we calling this? So we've had times where players have left the team. Right? Indiana Vassilev was another fan favorite who left and didn't have an immediate replacement. He's not the only one. So fans are really looking for some transparency from the club of what is, if we're going to get rid of a fan favorite, we're going to get rid of somebody that does produce. Now, you might argue some fans like the way Klaus produces, some fans don't, but that is a producer. He's going, by the way, if he does go to LA Galaxy, he's going to perform very well. But if you're going to get rid of somebody like that, then what does that look like? One, are you going to replace him right away because you're getting money? And I think City has north of $6 million in general allocation money to use. Or two, are you going to go ahead and just say, hey, we're going to stick with what we have and try to build and look towards the next transfer window? Or is City going to do what they've kind of traditionally done and not tell us anything?
Yeah, City doesn't talk a lot about what their plans are, but I have noticed this with teams across professional sports that owners and organizations are really, really reluctant to call it a rebuild. I think that's just
Cardinals.
Even the Blues.
They called it a build.
Yeah, and we were a transition, a build. Yeah, I don't know. Is it just because historically rebuilds are so distasteful and they want to still sell tickets for this season? So they will call it anything, a retool, a transition, a build,
a restructure.
They'll call it anything but a rebuild because people will always put rebuild and fire sale next to each other, right? That's what we've always heard with sports.
Fair point.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think about it, it's like we're changing scaffolding. You know, it is one of those things. If you get rid of Klaus and you sell him and you get the money, and I understand why you might do something like that. I think it would be more transparent just to say this is what it is. We've got a new coach in who's got a different style. He's learned under Wilfried Nancy and other coaches that have different styles. He sounds, just from the few times of listening to him, and I've only seen one practice, so you don't see a whole lot at just the first practice, to be a relatively structured kind of soccer coach. In other words, when I say that, I mean we have a plan of attack. What I'm interested to find out from Coach DeMay is how creative he lets people be. For example, I think somebody reported recently on Twitter that Edward Leuven from his press conference yesterday is, still trying to figure out how he's going to bring his game, which tends to be a little bit more free roaming and creative, into Johan DeMay's, kind of plan of attack, which tells me Coach DeMay may have a bit more structure behind what he wants to do. So, when you're doing, to bring it full circle back to Klaus, who is a creative player, who likes to combination play with others, what are you going to do with his money then that you get? Are we holding and waiting and trying to work with what we have? Are you going to bring in somebody that I would think would be very, very different from Klaus, not a combination player, maybe somebody that's a little bit more direct to goal and can kind of, quote, do it themselves? But yeah, it is one of those things where we're kind of all waiting to hear if this is going to go through, what is City going to be once again?
Is MLS generally, are the organizations tight-lipped, or is City just tend to be more that way?
I haven't noticed there seems to be, I feel like it's very, very organization and or coach specific. So I feel like when we even had John Hackworth in or David Critchley, they were very open about what they were able to say. And then we do know that, you have some other organizations, even LA Galaxy currently having their coach talk right now, Greg Vanney, about, I'm not really sure if this is going through, but Klaus is an interesting player. He could fit in this way. I find that I feel like it tends to vary a little bit more by organization, maybe not MLS as a whole. Although I'm sure MLS has something to say about what they say.
Right. Like the NHL is always so quiet on injuries. It's upper body, lower body. Even if everyone kind of knows what it is, NHL teams will just say.
When the referee strike happened, MLS had a lot to say about what we all could and couldn't say.
So as far as the team itself, I think all people really want to know is, can this be, or would you project this is going to be a playoff team again? Because we were told basically it better be before last season, and then it wasn't. So now what?
And then it fell apart. You're right. You're exactly right. Again, I'll go back to the fact that we were completely spoiled in year one, but still, you got a taste of it. So I can't blame fans for saying we want more of that action. When I look at the roster now, I think that it is a potential. Keeping injuries in check, right? That has been something that has just plagued City for the past 2 years. Keeping injuries in check, I think this is a team that could make it. Do I think right now this is a team that could go all the way? No, I don't. I think that they're still missing some of those pieces, if you get rid of a Klaus and you don't get somebody else in there that's starkly different, I don't think you have it. I think even to be fair to Joao Klaus, and I won't lie, he's one of my favorites. Everybody knows it. I like him as a combination player, but since Nico Gioacchini, we haven't had people around Klaus, and of course his own injuries, we haven't had people around Klaus to make him do what he does so well. It's one of those things where it's like we have the makings again, but we're going on year 4 of makings. And, by this time, you tend to see teams starting to inch closer towards that playoff line, not do what we did, immediately get in and then went all the way to the bottom and are trying to start all over again. So, a lot more to be seen with who might come in after Klaus and when this person might come in.
And so fair to say then, until you know your roster, I mean, we don't even know what type of style this team will play, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 100%. So we know, you just look back to Bradley Carnell, you're talking high energy, high octane, don't really care too much about defense. Let's throw everything at the goal, get a lot of goals, and it's exciting, right? And then you had John Hackworth had to kind of figure out how to piece that together with a sophisticated defense. It totally went off the rails with Olaf Melberg. Of course, that wasn't not remotely a City style. Mm-hmm. And then you got David Critchley kind of coming and also trying to do what I think Hack was trying to do at the time. And so now you've got Johan DeMay, who really speaks. I feel like he's pretty open with us with the media, but of course he's not going to give us his favorite structure. He doesn't seem to have a favorite formation, but he does just talk a lot about systems and structure and what players have as their expectations of themselves. So it'll be interesting to see. I don't know what we're going to see. Are we going to see a team that slow builds from the middle and then finds their point of weakness? Or are you going to find somebody that, slams the ball at the goal again, but has better defense, like John Hackworth and David Christen were trying to build after Bradley Carnell was gone?
So, Jen, before we say goodbye here, I know this happened a couple of months ago, I guess it was, that MLS announced they were changing the season schedule, where now the season begins in February and it runs through October, basically. Then for 2027, it's going to be more of a winter schedule that happens. What are your thoughts on changing of the schedule so we get started in mid to late July and run into the next year as opposed to the way it is now?
Yeah, I mean, I think for just talking to people in the soccer world and remembering MLS when it first started, that was kind of one of the things. And they weren't wrong necessarily. MLS knew at the time they could not compete with American football in the United States. You're not going to and they also didn't believe that fans are going to come out in the cold, cold winter. And you guys just had that press conference, and I love St. Louis City, but if it was this weekend, I wouldn't be going. So there are challenges, right, to having games in the winter. But we also see stadiums around the world being packed no matter almost what the temperature is. So I think that the game is growing to the point in the United States that the MLS had to make a decision of, do we want to go ahead and throw our lot in with the rest of the world and make it easier on our teams? It's hard when you're running your season differently and you've got to use the same transfer windows as the rest of the world. You can't necessarily get premium players. Luke Pfannenstiel, before he left, talked a lot about the challenges of finding those players, but I can't find them the way I could find them if I was in Europe, per se. So I think that would be a good thing. It's going to be a good thing for the MLS to line up with the rest of the world and then trust that the World Cup being here in 2026 doesn't hurt, of course, and that the fan base in the United States is building enough with the MLS that, yeah, we can fill stadiums no matter pretty much for the most part what the temperatures are or what the conditions look like. I think it would be good to model the rest of the world and make it easier on clubs to find those players when the time is right.
Hey, Jen, while we are talking about schedules, MLS will pause league play from the end of May to the middle of July because of the World Cup. Is that going to be weird for the league and the players to just stop for 2 months?
I would say for anybody who's got MLS only experience, meaning fan only of MLS or player only of MLS, yeah, that'll probably feel a little bit weird. But the international players already have lived that, or any of the U.S. players who've gone over, right, to play internationally, they've already lived these things. So it really isn't that big of a break, kind of a hard thing to do. And then your attention, of course, is brought to the World Cup instead of, also trying to focus on your league game. So I think in some ways, yeah, if you've just been exposed to soccer the way we've done it here in the U.S., it probably looks weird, but to the rest of the world, it's business as usual.
So, real quick, and Amy makes me think of this now. Is our men's national team any good, or what's going on?
Oh, there's a lot of stuff. Josh Sargent's in the news.
Do we have a real opportunity in this World Cup, or is it going to be disappointing like always?
So it's so funny. I haven't gone yet to coffee with Mr. Soccer Bill McDermott. We're due for a coffee to find out what he thinks about all this. But I have heard there's some of my fan friends who like to specifically run the numbers right on where the U.S. could be if they draw this and they do that. They're basically saying, so you're saying there's a chance. And I'm saying that sounds amazing. And I would love to see the United States get far into, they've done it a couple times before, they get further into the deep play. Do I think that they're necessarily a world champion? No, I don't think our program's there yet. I don't think our youth program supports it. Mauricio Pochettino could probably tell you about his frustrations with that because we don't do it like the rest of the world. We're very much still pay to play. You miss a ton of talent that way. But I think if they can, get the right draws and they can get in the right, brackets and they can get their team together, they have a chance of going pretty deep. That's probably about as far as I'm willing to tip my cap to.
All right. Well, I'll wear my scarf anyway.
Mm-hmm. Wear your red, white, and blue anyway.
All right. Thank you, Jen Cease.
Thanks, guys.
as Jen sees. And you can listen to her coverage on City SC. The season is coming up starting next month. We have soccer returning to the city. They better go to the playoffs, man.
I'm so confused by the schedule now, and they're going to change it, the season.
Yeah.
And they're changing it again?
I like that. I'd rather it be a cooler season schedule than... They're still going to play here in August, so I guess we don't miss those months. But still, I like it the way it's going to be. Amy Mark Scores, Chris Ranji. We've got the Gas House Gang coming up. Bernie Miklas and me. We're going to talk a little sports. Jay Jaffe from Fangraphs will join us. Carlos Beltran is in the Hall of Fame, former Cardinal. And a lot of people say, well, Jim Edmonds should be in if, Andrew Jones got in. We'll get Jay Jaffe's opinion on that. That's coming up, 12 o'clock. But until then, it's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out.
This is an important message for all parents of teens. If your teen or preteen is or has been addicted to social media sites such as Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, or YouTube, and they have suffered from eating disorders, body image issues, anxiety, depression, or suicidal thoughts, you may be eligible to participate in a lawsuit for significant compensation. Disclosures by a Facebook whistleblower show Instagram and Facebook know their social media platforms were highly addictive and may have caused eating disorders, body image issues, depression, and suicidal ideation. It appears these social media companies knew they had been causing serious harm to kids, but have done little to stop it. If your teen has been harmed by social media like Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, or YouTube, then you could be eligible for significant compensation. If you'd like to discuss a lawsuit, text LEVEL to 323232, LEVEL to 323232, LEVEL to 323232.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson, Media Advertising Specialists, LLC, is responsible for the content of this ad with principal offices in Chicago, Illinois.
St. Louis, are you ready to go Hardy?
I woke up on the wrong side of the truck bed.
The country rock hitmaker behind Truck Bed. Wait in the truck and one beer. He's bringing his No Holds Barred live show to Hollywood Casino Amphitheater June 5th. With special guests Cameron Whitcomb and McCoy Moore. Hardy, live, loud, and unapologetic. One night only. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. For more information, KMOX.com/events.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at Amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
This is Corey from Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. There's never a good time for your heating system to stop working. If yours does, no matter what time or day, Air Comfort Service offers 24/7 emergency HVAC service. Contact our award-winning team for 5-star heating service and stay in your comfort zone. For heating and 24/7 emergency service, contact Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation at aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
Taking care of your health should be simple. And with the Neovitin monthly subscription, it finally is. Choose your doctor-formulated multivitamin and we'll deliver it straight to your door every month. No more running out, no more remembering to reorder, just consistent nutrition made easy. Plus, subscribers save 10% every month and can pause or cancel at any time. Visit neovitin.com and start your subscription today. Neovitin, trusted nutrition every day.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Chris and Amy now. The Dave Glover Show at 1 on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
We were talking earlier in the week about the proposed data center. Oh, yes?
That was about the beet juice.
Oh, gosh, no. The text, man, just blowing us
Just
up.
before you get to this real quick, all these people with their just beside themselves, and we don't know about the beet juice. The KMOX has been saying it for years that they treat with beet. What? I've never heard anybody talk about beet juice for the roads.
And I'm a P1. I listen to a lot of KMOX.
All you ever hear is salt.
I know, and treatment, salt and treatment.
No one says beet juice.
And it's insane. People are livid.
Yeah, they're mad at us.
Absolutely livid. And sometimes they don't like the
Whatever.
question about the Brewers or whatever. But let me just tell you something. You sit in front of a mic for 4 hours a day, 5 days a week, and see if you think of things to talk about.
Leave us alone.
Leave us alone. We're just trying to entertain.
We're trying our best.
We are trying to surprise and delight the people.
I'm delighted.
I feel delighted every day.
Yeah. And this is really about us.
Yeah, what are you crabbing about?
Yeah.
We even warned you about going to the bathroom after eating beets.
That's right.
Don't be scared.
I saved you from a scare.
Don't be scared.
You're welcome.
All right. Data center. We've been talking about data centers and how they're proposed for Midtown and Jefferson County and in Warrenton and Franklin County. And remember the Franklin County one, they had tons of people show up to the meeting. They were spilling out of the room into the hallways. Now, the Franklin County Data Center was being proposed to be directly adjacent to Shaw Nature Reserve, which is part of Missouri Botanical Gardens. So here's the statement from the Botanical Garden on the proposed data center near Shaw Nature Reserve. The Missouri Botanical Garden has been informed that a parcel of land in Franklin County is currently being considered for rezoning. As you may have read, the parcel, Diamond Farms LLC, lies on the western border of Shaw Nature Reserve. The garden is currently assessing the situation and is in our own discovery mode. We will have representation at the Franklin County zoning meeting tonight, which was yesterday, and we'll continue to keep you posted. We are focused on protecting Shaw Nature Reserve. As you know, Shaw Nature Reserve is a Missouri Botanical Garden property encompassing 2,400 acres, includes 18 miles of hiking trails, an exceptional array of native plant communities, and natural habitats. Shaw Nature Reserve serves as a significant conservation, research, and public education landscape, supporting biodiversity and offering a natural experience to thousands of visitors each year. End of statement. And as Matt would say, it's one of his favorite places. Yeah. It's just a beautiful place to hike and to visit. And I am not a botanist. However, I would think there would be major concerns about a data center which consumes water, which also cools the data center computers with water and then dumps out that dirty water. I'm not sure how it could abut a nature reserve and not somehow affect the natural habitat and resources that very conservation area relies on.
And that goes beyond affecting communities, too. There's going to be an effect on nature no matter what is built, especially if it's built in a more rural area where things have not been touched yet, right? You've got land that gets cleared for some sort of construction project. Well, it's always going to affect nature. And I don't think we're ever going to be able to completely avoid that. But on a scale that a data center appears to affect resources and communities that are nearby, I don't know how. Look, I don't hate them outright. But what I need from these companies that end up building them is I need some assurances. And I don't mean like, oh, yeah, things are going to be fine, don't worry. I need like in writing, and I need there to be legal teeth if they don't keep up their end of the bargain, that we are going to make sure that there's enough water for the community. We're going to make sure that we are not sucking electrical resources from the community or make it harder for people in the community to keep up with electricity costs or whatever the case may be. And if we don't hold up our end of the bargain, you can legally come after us. And if there are actual assurances written in stone that everything will be okay, then I'm on board with data centers. But handshake agreements, not good enough for me.
Well, and even in stone might not be enough. We can get into this tomorrow, but a new audit shows that in spending on Missouri lottery advertising increased while the money that is transferred to education decreased. So again,
when all that money was supposed to go to
money is
education.
supposed to go to education. Now, some still is, but a lot of it was decreased. But a lot of that money was spent on advertising. So even set in stone, even written down, promises can be broken or manipulated.
Whatever you missed on the show today, there's a place for it. It's the Odyssey app. You can download it and find all the podcasts there, segments, full hours, full show, whatever, or iHeart app, or wherever you get your podcasts, KMOX.com, whatever. We're going to be back with you tomorrow at 9 with Hancock and Kelly to start the show. But coming up next, it is the Gas House Gang. I've got Bernie Miklasz with me, Chris Ranji. We're going to talk some sports with you coming up on KMOX.
The cow used a stick to scratch its back.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by